whoever he chooses, I'm going to run my campaign, which is about a positive vision for our country.
Responding to Trump's recent comments about her husband, Trump's running unopposed for the first time as the presumptive GOP nominee. Republicans are also voting in Nebraska. Trump meets Thursday with House Speaker Paul Ryan, who now says he'd be willing to step aside as chair of the GOP convention.
I'll do whatever he's the nominee. I'll do whatever he wants. With respect to the convention.
Ryan telling the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel the important thing is for the party to unite. A bloody scene at a train station in Germany. A deadly stabbing attack. Fox Radio's Simon Owen, live in our European bureau.
Police for a 27-year-old German man is in custody. Witnesses telling police he shouted, "God is great" in Arabic as he stabbed 4 people, killing one of them at a train station near Munich early this morning. The suspect identified in news reports only as Paul H. Police confirming they're investigating a possible political motive, but they're also looking at whether the suspect is mentally ill. More details expected later. Like much of Western Europe, Germany is on a high terror alert. Lisa?
Simon, thanks. A tornado spawning storm blamed for at least 2 deaths in Oklahoma, where homes are damaged, cars overturned, and the bark stripped off trees.
Oh, it's just an experience you don't want to experience, and anybody that goes through it, I don't know, it's crazy.
Johnson County Commissioner Roy Blevins, the Ohio and Tennessee valleys could get pounded today, and forecasters say another storm system could hit an area from North Texas to near St. Louis tomorrow. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy and 47 right now. We have had on and off rain showers all night and into the early morning hours. Winds east at 13. A person is dead following a semi-crash. It happened in the western suburbs early this morning. State police tell us the truck was traveling on the Tri-State Tollway 294 when it slammed into a median wall near Western Springs. 2 lanes of the tollway were closed in each direction near 47th Street as crews cleared that scene. An investigation is ongoing after Chicago police shot and killed a bank robbery suspect on the southwest side. Officials say officers chased that man on foot yesterday after he robbed a Byline bank at 49th and Archer. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson.
The description is the same. He has distinctive shoes that he had on today, so we think the same individual committed a bank robbery a few days ago.
Johnson believing this is not the first bank the offender has turned over in the city. Mexican federal judge ruling yesterday that accused drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman can be extradited to the United States. Right now, it's not clear where he will stand trial. Guzman has been indicted here in Chicago. Prosecutors in Wisconsin have charged a man accused of killing an Illinois woman in a drive-by with shooting his neighbor to death hours earlier. Milwaukee prosecutors have filed 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide against Zach Hayes of West Allis in the death of Gabriel Sanchez. Prosecutors in Sauk County charged him last week with the death of West suburban woman Tracy Chakowski in a drive-by on Interstate 9094. Governor Rauner continuing to make a push and says bipartisan groups of Illinois lawmakers are making progress that are essential to a deal on a long-delayed state budget. Even Democrat Senator Andy Maynard acknowledged general progress and positive discussions in a process being driven by the governor. White Sox 8, Texas 4 in 12 innings of work last night. Todd Frazier's grand slam in the 12th, the winner for the White Sox last night. The Todd father had 2 home runs and a career-high 6 RBI in that White Sox winner. Cubs and San Diego wiped out by rain. The news, a service of CiCi's Pizza. Ready for an adventure in flavor? CiCi's brings 3 new flatbread pizzas to the unlimited buffet. Try the new Spinach Alfredo, Chicken Bacon Club, and Barbecue Chicken. More flavor to explore for the same great value. 5 and change. Only at CiCi's. Better. Believe it. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The average Republican voter out there right now is looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't want somebody who comes from Washington. I don't want somebody to get along with Democrats. Not this year. I want the whole system blown up. That's why Trump or that's why Cruise.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year, that's where Republican voters are at.
I'm Alice, owner of a growing company. Our entire business depends on our phones, so I was challenged when our phone service providers struggled to deliver our calls. Missed calls means lost revenue. I heard Innovative Networks helped AM 560, so I called. They provided an innovative solution that reinforced our phone infrastructure and enhanced call flow. I truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing us a solution that scales as my business expands. They even replaced our outdated phone system and provided hands-on training to maximize our capabilities. Amazingly, it cost us nothing. I'm saving money and more focused on growing my business. I'm thrilled with Innovative Networks.
Follow Alice's lead and call Innovative Networks. Call 312-453-7777. That's 312-453-7777. Or visit go4inet.com. Are you happy with your carrier?
It is 5:06. It has been a tough morning on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Trouble on the Tri-State. Rain still falling in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. We get all the details for you with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. And that truck crash you mentioned on the Tri-State Tollway near 47th and Western Springs still has lanes blocked, 2 left lanes blocked in each direction on 294 just north of 47th Street. That investigation is ongoing. Southbound I-57 at Holsted, there's a multi-vehicle collision reported. Units are responding. No word yet on lane blockage. On the Ryan, there's another crash. This one outbound at 87th. Actually, it was a vehicle fire. That's been extinguished. There's a right lane closed. The inbound crashes have cleared. I-80 westbound at Harlem. There's a crash on the shoulder. The CTA Red Line has some delays after an earlier medical issue at 63rd Street Station. Traffic is a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast, if you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to lifelock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, warmer with periods of rain and a thunderstorm with a high of 67. Mostly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the area with a low 54. Clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high of 72. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
50 at O'Hare, 48 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So overnight, you heard at the top of the hour, a apparent Islamist terrorist attack outside a rail station, or at a rail station just outside Munich, about 20 miles east of Munich. 4 people stabbed, 1 person killed, and witnesses reporting the attacker shouted Allahu Akbar, meaning
God is great.
Right,
yeah.
During the assault. Another reported the suspect yelled, "You infidels," among other statements. This is fascinating. Police spokesman said the assailant, who was arrested at the scene, quote, expressed political motivations.
Really? Okay. They're saying, AP is saying that he's a 27-year-old German citizen with a German-sounding name, which is strange because he was shouting Allah Akbar, which doesn't mean anything. You could be German and could be Muslim and could be radicalized.
He could be a Syrian migrant.
That's true, too.
We don't know. Police spokesman Karl-Heinz Granitza, though, said, no, this is Karl-Heinz Siegerer. Karl-Heinz Granitza played for the Chicago Sting. Remember him?
Oh, my God. You remember that?
Remember Karl-Heinz? He was sure.
He was the whole franchise.
He was the whole
Yeah.
Chicago Sting. The express political motivations. Boy, I tell you, and we'll follow the story as details develop. This happened late last night, our time, about 11 p.m. But Germany doesn't learn. There's this kind of response from the police. Well, why don't you say what you heard, what witnesses said, at least repeat what witnesses said, and we're looking into it.
Well, they're saying that he's mental, but they're not coming out and saying that this is a terrorist attack. They're saying this person is mentally disturbed.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, of course he's mentally disturbed.
The source of the mental disturbance, I suppose, is that issue. This is the Cologne attacks on January 1, where German police in Cologne tried to downplay the mass mob sexual assaults by young Syrian migrants to Germany. Tried to downplay, tried to suppress information about what happened from getting out, ultimately led to the Cologne police chief resigning. By the way, in March, the Alternative for Democracy, this is characterized as a right-wing populist party in Germany, defeats Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats in 2 of 3 states, I think it was. In Austria, Social Democrat chancellor resigned yesterday after losing the necessary support of the coalition government after, again, right-wing populist electoral success in Austria. Are you starting to feel the message about at least kind of the rank-and-file citizenry revolting against a political class that's kind of out of touch with them and out of touch with their interests and is willing to sacrifice them on the altar of European multiculturalism that is tearing asunder their societies? And, of course, this is the backdrop of the first Muslim mayor of an international Western city, Khan.
Did you say what I think you said? Khan.
And that's the only reason I said it.
Wait, did I say Khan?
We'll see how many times you can pack that clip into the next 5 minutes. Being elected mayor of London, the man who referred to moderate Muslims as Uncle Toms.
Right, but didn't he try and walk that back?
Well,
but you can't really take that back, though.
From what place did that come?
That came from his true being. That is what he believes, and that is what he thinks. And then he realized that's politically incorrect. I better walk it back.
Here's this. Britain's largest Islamic charity says it wants to break down barriers, and thus the campaign it's launched with huge billboards on London buses with the phrase, "Glory to Allah."
Oh, boy.
Now, this is an advertisement to raise money for Ramadan aid to Syria, so says this Islamic charity. But as you're, tooling around London and you see the big red buses with the big red buses that have been blown up previously,
right?
Not so long ago.
Then it'll be on trains next.
Glory to Allah.
See, I thought they didn't commercialize their Allah. I thought that they held him sacred. That's why they didn't like, Judeo-Christian values and didn't like Christians, because we commercialize Jesus. People have "I love Jesus" on bumper stickers. They have pictures of him in their house. People wear T-shirts with Jesus's photograph on it. So that surprises me that they're allowing that.
Yeah, well,
they're changing the rules, Dan. Well, Donald Trump, real quick, said that he's happy that London elected its first Muslim mayor. Are you ready for this? He extended an olive branch and said that Khan could be the exception to his ban on Muslims coming to the U.S. And Mr. Khan didn't take that lightly.
Great. We better keep a count.
I'm sorry. I won't do it. I got a trigger finger here. He said he declined. He said he is not going to be visiting the United States anytime soon if Donald Trump becomes president.
Yeah, you're breaking our heart. Here's an interesting backlash in Poland. Poland lashing back at the EU, abolishing quote-unquote hate crimes and these paramilitary racism units, saying we don't want to become like France and Germany. Poland's reason for abandoning these units that have become all too familiar in Western Europe because they were inefficient and, as one can infer from the article that describes it, actively promoting racism against the native Polish people and in favor of Muslims and other migrants to Poland. Even Polish supporters of these units admit that was the purpose of the units, to promote Muslims and other ideas at the expense of Poles. So Poland, at least, maybe there's some sense happening in certain quarters, Poland reversing course. We don't want to become like France and Germany.
Well, Germany let in, 1.1 immigrants in last year alone? 1.1 million, I should say, immigrants in the last year.
That was, I don't know how many they actually let in, but that was essentially the marker that Merkel put down.
Too bad I don't have a Merkel. Her political future doesn't look too good. Back to Khan, and I'm not going to play the Khan thing real quick. This is exactly what he said to Donald Trump. Khan. Thank you. If Donald Trump, you're going to like this. If Donald Trump becomes the president, I'll be stopped from going there by virtue of my faith, which means I can't engage with American mayors and swap ideas.
Yeah.
I'm confident that Donald Trump's approach to politics won't win in America. Oh, okay, Khan. All right. That makes me want to vote for Donald Trump. You watch yourself.
And this is just kind of a backdrop of the larger conversation about the threat posed by Islamofascists. Apparently, this individual that stabbed one person to death, stabbed 3 others.
Bloody mess, too. Did you see the video?
Well,
there's like 40 bloody footprints. Some are, what looks like the guy was wearing, he didn't have shoes on. He was in bare feet because that's what the outline looks like. And it's disgusting. And the victims are 50, 43, and 58 years old, males. So we don't know if they're trying to protect other people on the train or if he was just randomly standing people.
Moving a little bit east, in 2003, 2 million Christians lived in Iraq. Today, fewer than 200,000. Father Douglas Bazzi, who was a prisoner and someone who suffered torture at the hands of the Islamic State, because this is his mission field, essentially, he said, to be Christian in Iraq, it's an impossible mission. I'm not actually surprised when they attack my people. I'm surprised how my people still exist. Wow. He talked about how they destroyed his car. They blew up his church in front of him. They smashed his nose and teeth with a hammer. Wow. They broke one of they shot him. He still has a bullet in his leg. They broke one of the discs in his back, sharing the story of the slaughter that is going on, the genocide that is going on in Syria, in Iraq against Christians, and how we see that moving over to the West. And unfortunately, this morning, we have to report another instance of this trend, this expansionist attitude of radical Islamic terrorists who seek to extend the caliphate over the whole of Europe and America, ultimately.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, cloudy. It will be warmer, but we're going to have rain on and off throughout the day, and a thunderstorm late this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees. And then tonight, the rain continues, a shower or thunderstorm. I don't know how the Cubs are going to get in that game tonight. Oh, congratulations to your White Sox. They won last night.
23-10.
Yes. And then tomorrow, clouds and some sunshine. Perfect day for a doubleheader. A high of 70 degrees. Let's get the travel times. A very busy man today. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. Tri-State Tollway north of 47th Street in Western Springs. 2 left lanes remain blocked in both directions after an overnight truck crash. The crash went through the center barrier wall or went into it. And we do have delays now on the southbound side from Ogden to 47th. But again, 2 left lanes blocked there on 294 in both directions. Other area crashes on the expressways and tollways have cleared. You have traffic getting a little heavier on the Kennedy now. The express lanes were closed for overnight work. They haven't opened yet. They should be soon on the inbound side. Inbound Rhine getting a little heavy approaching downtown. Again, the crashes on the Rhine have cleared. Same goes to the Bishop Ford Freeway. A little heavy inbound approaching the merge. Indiana Toll Road has construction delays in both directions. CTA Red Line trains are back on schedule after an earlier medical issue at 63rd Street Station. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. This is Michael Medved, and I've done some research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106 out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day. Now, he does it by attracting multiple full-price offers that increase demand and help sell your home fast and at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I were selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd call Saul. Go online to callsaul.net. That's callsaul, S-A-U-L.net. Or call Saul now at 888-346-0666. That's callsaul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
I've been very happy with Balance of Nature. You know what the funny thing is, even when I'm tired, I feel better than I have in so long. I really haven't gotten colds. It's just been great. I've been very, very pleased. More energy. I think it really works. I really do.
Working out, losing weight, and even in the best of times, I can't eat that many vegetables, so it's nice to know I'm getting them.
My husband got a cold, but I didn't. So, hooray! Thank God for Balance of Nature.
It's time you had a Balance of Nature experience in your own life. Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751 to begin your road to better health. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Amy, you also had a mention for your motherland about this issue of dealing with the threat of radical Islamic terror.
Oh, yeah. Apparently 6 ISIS members got into Sweden via Turkey, of course, and they plan on blowing up some public buildings in Stockholm. And it's so bad that the Norwegian king and queen were planning on a trip to Stockholm this weekend to celebrate the Swedish king's 70th birthday. And they have postponed that trip because they have reliable sources that says they want to blow up building because they want the Swedish military to get out of the coalition fighting ISIS. That's their whole purpose. So they know who these people are. 6 Iraqis that left Iraq and went to Sweden via Turkey. They know who they are, and they can't find them yet. So they say the ringleader is a veteran insurgent who was close to Allah Zawahiri. Allah Zawahiri, the leader of ISIS, forerunner Al-Qaeda. So they're just trying to get them. And people are on alert in Stockholm, Sweden.
A related story, this study that comes out from the Center for Immigration Studies, analysis of federal spending on persons that are here illegally versus Native American families versus people that are here legally, including legal immigrants, which I guess most of us are.
Yeah.
Amy came over on the Mayflower. Most of us did not. Amy's family did, not you literally. That'd be
Actually,
something.
we can trace that back to the Mayflower.
Really? The
Mhm.
Jacobsons run the Mayflower?
The Christiansons, my mother's side, not my dad's side.
I see.
So we're Dars, daughter of the American Revolution. We're the whole thing. I have the whole thing if you want me to bring it in. Because we did Ancestry.com. You know, since you are adopted, you might want to submit a DNA test and find out what you are.
I'm gonna do the Maury Povich show
Which
to
are you
find
gonna do?
out.
Maybe your prince's love child.
Could be. I hope. Get in line.
You can.
So anyway, back
That'd be a new twist.
that
on
would be
things.
something. It would explain my sick dance moves. So maybe.
Dad, you're taller than him.
So this story from the Center for study from the Center for Immigration Studies finds that
Yes.
illegal immigrants get about $1,200 more in welfare benefits than American families do on an annualized basis.
Now, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And why is that happening?
The total cost is projected to be about $103 billion in welfare benefits to households headed by immigrants. A majority receive some type of welfare compared to 30% of native households. And overall, I mean, this is not limited to this population, but overall we spend north of $1 trillion on all these war on poverty programs, many of which are redundant. Well, the immigrants receiving the most in the study, this is of 2012 figures, come from Mexico and Central America. It's about 86% higher than the benefits that are accessed by American households. This was done by Jason Richwine, who is a Harvard-educated an analyst of immigration data. The report also finds that President Obama is seeking about $17,000 to allocate for every new illegal minor, which is more than most Social Security recipients receive. Very interesting data here. To your question, part of it in terms of how persons here illegally access benefits, they access them through the children. Right?
Okay.
Because the children are the beneficiaries.
what
So this is the whole anchor baby issue, or this is an aspect of the anchor baby issue. They're born here, so they're an American citizen, and then they get welfare benefits that essentially benefit the family. The other point about...
But don't you think our priorities are messed up then? Shouldn't we be helping our own first?
Well, I think...
But can you say that without sounding racist?
Yeah, because our own cuts across the racial spectrum, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Aren't there Americans of every stripe and religious background affiliation? So it's about legal versus illegal, not about race or gender or anything else. This also, in terms of the greater consumption than of welfare benefits than Native families, part of it has to do, at least according to the study, lower levels of education and larger number of children as compared to Native American families. 24% of immigrant households are headed by a high school dropout compared to just 8% Native households. In addition, 13% of immigrant households have 3 or more children compared to just 6% of Native households. So that helps to explain a bit of the disparity. And this is one of the conversations for the kind of path of citizenship or even the open borders crowd. Boy, I'd be a lot more sympathetic to more immigration if the prove up to you coming to this country to make a better life for yourself, that's what you say you want, then just waive off your access to welfare state benefits.
Well, our good friend Kristen Chalky, her son Jacob has had some severe disabilities, and she says that exactly what you're talking about. They're cutting off $1,000. I'm sorry, it's cutting off funding to 1,006 disabled kids in Illinois, but yet still helping illegal immigrants. And she's been fighting in Springfield to try, but guess what? The day she was supposed to testify, they cut it short.
Ed in Oakbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thank you. The point I want to make, and it's going to lead to Trump, so be beware, is that all of these agency heads and regulators and the EPA and HUD and so forth are doing more damage to this country than any of the legislators or senators are. And that's why a guy like Trump, who is not political, although he acts political, is going to probably appoint people that actually can do things other than social reasons or just to advance their cause. If you look at what HUD is trying to do now, pay benefits or whatever stipends to people based on zip code. So in other words, if they wanted to move into, Dan, your apartment unit or condo unit or Amy's unit, you know what, they're going to give money to these people to move into there. And what's going to happen to your unit? So it's these agency heads that are doing more trouble, and they have no idea what a dollar is because it's not their money, and they have no idea if the program is working or failing or how to adjust it. They just wreck things.
Thanks, Ed.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today. CertaPro.com. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, Facebook, at least former Facebook workers, cop to the fact that they omitted conservative topics. No surprise there, but we'll have the details as long as my Facebook post stays up at 5:35.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good Tuesday morning to a very busy man. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, we're watching several developing stories, including West Virginia and Nebraska. They are up next today as the 2016 primary season rolls on. Our reporter Terry Moore is in West Virginia this morning.
Likely Republican nominee Donald Trump will get closer to the delegates he needs to wrap things up after last week's withdrawals by two rivals, Ted Cruz and John Kasich. Trump says he knows what voters want.
They want to see strength. They don't want people walking all over our country.
Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton is pushing equal pay for equal work.
It's not just a woman's issue, it's a family issue, and it's an economic issue. And we can't let it go. We have to be tenacious about it.
Clinton is still battling for the Democratic nomination with Bernie Sanders. The delegate math continues to favor Clinton. I'm Terry Moore reporting.
Two are dead after tornadoes wreak havoc in parts of Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska. Reporter Taylor Millard says the National Weather Service was kept very busy overnight.
16 tornado warnings were issued over a 6-hour period. They'll be out assessing the damage today.
The same system could bring severe weather to parts of the Ohio Valley as it moves east. One person is dead, 3 hurt after a stabbing in Germany. The attack happened at a train station near Munich. Iraqi officials say 13 civilians have died in a suicide bombing near a commercial area northeast of Baghdad near the city of Baquba. Justice Department filing its own lawsuit against North Carolina over the state's transgendered bathroom law.
The legislature and the governor placed North Carolina in direct opposition to federal laws prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sex and gender identity.
That is the argument put forth by Attorney General Loretta Lynch. A person is dead following a semi-crash in the western suburbs that happened on the Tri-State Tollway near 47th, near the junction of Western Springs and Hinsdale. 2 lanes of the tollway were closed in each direction as crews cleared that scene. The driver is dead after slamming an SUV into a northwest suburban school. The crash happened late yesterday at the Station Middle School in Barrington. No students or staff were hurt. White Sox come back to beat Texas 8-4 in 12 innings. Todd Frazier's grand slam in the 12th. The game winner for the Sox last night. San Diego and the Cubs rained out. The news service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast, swipe that card, and you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to LifeLock.com, promo code RISK, save 10%. 534. Time to check the climate of your business with AirComfort.com. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station. AM 560. The Answer.
Here Maps, the free app that helps you beat the jam with live traffic info and public transit schedules. Get it now at here.com/commute.
Hey, let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting Dad for Father's Day on June 19th? It's weird, but did you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin, oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. I may buy one for my dog Hunter. With a 10-year warranty, it's a great gift and health investment as well. And you'll sleep better. I do. That's why MyPillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Joe for the 2-for-1 offer. Keep one for you. Do it now. 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Joe. 800-489-0201.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
537 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic is jammed now on the northbound Tri-State Tollway from the Stevenson Expressway to 47th. 2 left lanes are blocked. The investigation into that major overnight truck crash. Southbound, it is stop and go from Ogden to 47th. 1 left lane is blocked southbound, 2 northbound. And the delays are growing. You may consider, especially on the northbound side, taking LaGrange Road or 83, another alternate through that area. Outbound I-57 past the Calsag Channel. There's a crash on the right shoulder. Seeing slight delays now on the inbound Rhine, inbound Bishop Ford approaching downtown. Traffic is a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. If you could get out of your timeshare safely and legitimately, would you? TimeshareExitTeam.com has a 100% guarantee they'll get you out or give you a full refund. Call 844-321-EXIT. 844-321-EXIT. TimeshareExitTeam.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Cloudy and warmer, rain and drizzle this morning, and then an afternoon thunderstorm, high 67. 50 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues right now. And make sure to join me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon starting at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
So how about this, Facebook users?
You're a Facebook user. You love your Facebook.
I post on Facebook.
Yeah, I think you're addicted to your Facebook.
I've finally migrated over from MySpace.
Okay, finally.
To Facebook. Yeah.
See, I like Twitter better. I don't Facebook. I don't know why. I'm not. I like the, real short sentences. 120 characters.
140
But in
characters.
Facebook, you could go on and on and on.
Yeah. Well, if you have something
Sometimes.
important to say,
Yeah,
like
that's
what
true.
you had for lunch,
Yes, exactly.
how you're feeling today.
Hey, how are you feeling? Did you put it on your Facebook?
I'm melancholy.
Oh, really?
That was my status update.
Did you put an emoji with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I do.
Emojis. My gosh, emojis.
Yeah, you know, social media, it's just a way to connect with people. And I like
For you,
to
it's
stay
perfect
connected.
because you can connect but be disconnected. It's perfect for you. You can say how you feel, and you can hear feedback from other people, but you don't have to read it.
It's right. It's sort of pretend two-way communication. You
Uh-huh.
can give the appearance of engaging in a dialogue without actually engaging in
Yeah.
a dialogue. No, but I actually do. I respond to posts and things like that too. I like it. It's interesting. It's a way to, gin up conversation. Keep your
Yeah.
finger on the pulse of the
And whenever you get in a
community.
Twitter war with certain people,
Twitter wars are fun.
They always reach out to me, like as if I'm going to smooth over the situation.
You're
or
like
something.
Jimmy Carter. You come in and you oversee free
There's
and fair
a
elections.
certain alderman who reached out to me and texted me, said, "What's up with Dan?" And then I started reading the tweets between you and this alderman and thought, I'm staying out of this.
Well, I mean,
I'm. I'll stay out of it.
Brendan Riley shouldn't tweet when he's drunk, which unfortunately is most of the time. I mean, that's the problem.
Well, his office
And
is
he
at
also-
the Boss Bar, right? I
and
mean,
he-
that's where his office. Or is that
Yes.
his
Yes.
sublet?
No, that is his de facto
satellite
office.
office?
Yeah,
Okay,
there
yeah.
should be no aldermanic allowance for him. Just pay his bar tab, although the aldermanic allowance is less money.
Okay.
But, and he's also, tool for Mike Madigan and the other
And Ron.
dark lords in Springfield
He's
and
our-
Chicago, for that matter.
Yeah, he's our vice mayor, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure
so
is.
something happens to Tiny Dancer.
Yeah. Then
comes in.
No, it doesn't quite work.
Well,
There's
just
the
like
vice
the-
mayor is an honorific. There's no line of succession that includes the so-called
Well, I thought
vice
that
mayor.
they come in and then the city council votes for a replacement.
Well,
mayor.
it's just to give him a title, make him feel like he's important, so that he continues to be a handmaiden to Tiny Dancer. So
How do you really feel?
Well, I mean, I'm just describing what he
Yeah.
does. And the teachers union too. He's also a handmaiden to the teachers union. So there's an example of social media that allows you to kind of flesh out.
Yeah.
Beat some people out of the brush, and let's see who they really are.
And Twitter doesn't stop you from, like, they can't control what you put on your post.
No.
I mean,
Well, they
up
can-
to an
they can-
extent,
they
if it's
can-
a terrorist activity, they can yank it.
Well, they
or
no,
block it.
No, they can. There's no right to Facebook. There's no constitutional right to Twitter, so they can block it. They can block you. They can knock you out of the box. There's been some Twitter issues with conservatives who've been knocked off of Twitter for their posts, which were just rather innocuous, just came from a conservative point of view on issues, and Twitter knocked them out.
Yeah,
so
no,
there's
they
been this
suspend you.
issue.
My friend got suspended from Twitter for 3 days. He wore that as a badge of honor. But he put a conservative post on. Gosh, I can't remember. It was about a year ago. And he was in the penalty box for 3 days.
Well, so getting back to Facebook, Facebook workers, according to some who've come forward and owned up, routinely suppress news stories of interest to conservative readers from the trending news section. This is a former journalist who worked on the project. The individual says that workers prevented stories about CPAC gathering, Mitt Romney, Rand Paul, other conservative topics from appearing in that section, which is fairly influential, even though they were organically trending among the site's users. In addition, so that's part of it. Another former curator of content on Facebook suggests that they also created topics to be trending that were not trending. People stopped caring about Syria, one former curator said, and if it wasn't trending on Facebook, it would make Facebook look bad. The same curator said the Black Lives Matter movement was also injected into Facebook's trending news module. Facebook got a lot of pressure about not having a trending topic for Black Lives Matter. They realized it was a problem and they boosted it in the ordering. They gave it preference over other topics that were bubbling up organically. And so that's kind of an instance of the bias you would expect from, Mark Zuckerberg's a lib. He hired former Obama flack.
Gibbs.
Robert Gibbs.
Robert Gibbs.
Yeah, they went over to make him a bunch of money, like he's made a bunch of other liberals a bunch of money. The same thing Google's done, had Al Gore on the board. So all these tech companies and these entrepreneurial capitalists that don't believe in theory what they do in practice.
I just can't believe they would be politically biased. I mean, according to their handbook. No, according to their handbook and according to CNN this morning, that is against their company policy, Dan, and they would never engage in such behavior. and that this is sour grapes from an ex-employee.
Is that what that says? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's truth to this, of course, and this also goes to the issue of bias in media outlets in particular.
Oh, yeah.
It's not always the way they cover a story. The first level of bias is the stories they allow to be covered, the stories they choose to be covered. And then you get to the kind of the secondary layer of bias, which is the angle of incidents and how they present the story.
Oh, yeah. I've been in those newsroom meetings. So if you have Ted Cruz and Donald Trump in the city at the same time, which did happen, how much attention did Ted Cruz get? Compared to Donald Trump, I mean, he was in the B segment. And the reason why Ted Cruz got attention that day was because people thought all the Trump supporters were going to move on over to Ted Cruz's event. Or else I don't think he would have gotten much coverage at all, to be honest with you.
Well, and there's all soft forms of bias or incompetence or the intersection of the two, which is a dangerous intersection. I mean, there was this story that was on WGN News earlier this week. Violent crime dips in April in Chicago.
Homicide rate is the highest it's been in years, since 2007.
Right. So violent crime dips in April is the headline. Oh, so violent crime's on the wane in Chicago? Year over year, the first 4 months of the year, we're up. Murders are up 50%. Shootings are up 70% in Chicago. The highest number of murders in Rahm's tenure through the first 4 months of the year, this year. But if you just read the headline, which is what a lot of people do, and don't kind of have the contextual information, so maybe the crime issue is overblown in Chicago. Things seem to be getting better, because I just saw on WGN that violent crime dipped in April. I mean, well, it's just it's that kind of shoddy reporting, and then there's also the biases of most reporters who are left to support the Chicago Democrat establishment, whether that's the Chicago Democrat establishment here or in Springfield or the one we exported to D.C. And part of it is their own interest in having access, selling their souls for access. And part of it is that that's their worldview. And that's why it's so funny to me when reporters pretend like I'm just an objective scrivener of what's happening on the passing scene. I bring no opinions, no views to this. I am a blank slate. Nobody believes that, and nobody expects you to be. Just be honest about your perspective, and that people can factor it in. It's real simple. I don't know. Tony on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Morning.
There's a simple way of finding out whether or not Facebook is telling the truth about not suppressing stories. And when you go on Facebook today, see if this story is trending. If it's not, then you know it's true. They are suppressing this stuff, right?
Yeah, that's good. Very good. Very good, Tony. Thank you, Frank. Thanks for the call. Yeah, see? There's the guys on the stick.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Ooh. Today, another rainy day, folks. Bring an umbrella, a jacket, because it's going to be raining on and off throughout the day. Then a thunderstorm by this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees.
I love raining throughout the day. Remember that Eddie Rabbit song?
Oh, yeah. I love a rainy night. Because I love a rainy night. Oh, I love when I can correct you. Anywho.
I knew the song was not I love when it was raining throughout the day. Yeah. Right.
Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm. And tomorrow, no rain, just some clouds and some sunshine finally. A high of 70 degrees. Let's go to the roadways. I'm sure there's some high travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, Amy and Dan, good morning. It is slow and wet on the Tri-State Tollway. Really jammed on the northbound side from 75th to 47th, where 2 left lanes remain closed after a major overnight truck wreck, which the semi went right into the center of a cement wall there. And so traffic is essentially at a standstill from 75th to 47th, and southbound at Stop and Go Ogden to 47th. There's a left lane closed southbound as well. The Edens is wet, but otherwise okay. Same goes for the Kennedy. The express lanes have finally opened inbound. Inbound Eisenhower, a little congestion past Manheim, around 25th. Inbound Stevenson, it's slow now, Harlem to Kedzie, and approaching Lakeshore Drive. It's 39 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 20 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Flex Execs is a talent recruiting firm that for almost 3 decades has helped their clients become more competitive by identifying great talent. Finding the right people to drive your business results is critical. Flex Talent Finder customizes the recruiting process to meet your unique business needs for full-time positions. Flex Execs' U.S.-based recruiters work to find people that not only meet your technical needs but fit your company culture. They can handle 1 position or 100 at a cost well below traditional search. Flex identifies the people best for you. Their clients rave about the level of talent, fast results, and ease of doing business. Connect online at flex2016.com or call 630-655-0563 and ask for Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. That number, 630-655-0563 or online at flex2016.com. Flex Execs, proud to be a sponsor of Dan and Amy's Business Tour. Flex Execs online at flex2016.com. Flex2016.com. Flex Execs, moving business at the speed of trust.
When you're a kid, monsters live under your bed. When you're a grown-up, monsters come in the mail. You know, bills. But by refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans, you could save hundreds of dollars each month. Money you can use to shrink those monstrous bills down to a size that's not nearly as scary. To learn how, call 800-QUICKEN today or visit us online at QuickenLoans.com. Here's one more thing that can help put your mind at ease. For 6 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the 2nd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call us at 800-QUICKEN and buy in. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Quicken Loans. Home buy, refi, power. Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
Mike Rowe here with a quick IAQ test for my buddy Bill.
Wait, I didn't study.
IAQ stands for Indoor Air Quality, something 1 Hour excels at.
Well, I aced my SATs, so...
Yes or no? Do you breathe inside your home?
Yeah.
And what do you breathe?
Air.
And what's in that air?
Air?
Sorry, we were looking for dust mites, household pollutants, even formaldehyde.
Wait, I need to move.
Or you could call 1 Hour and improve your IAQ.
That sounds smarter.
Let's see how you do with the disclaimer.
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Not bad.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sing it, ready? 'Cause I love a rainy night.
You're disgracing the memory of Eddie Rabbitt.
I loved Eddie Rabbitt. And you know who else loves love? Senator Bernie Sanders. He actually helped a young couple in love. Did you hear this?
Who are the two dudes?
Breaking news this morning. It's not 2 dudes. It's actually a heterosexual. No, it's a heterosexual couple.
Come on.
Yeah. It's his social media director. His name is Hector Singala. I think I pronounced his name right. And he proposed to his girlfriend, who also works on the Bernie Sanders campaign. He posted a tweet of him down on his knees, and he said, I have to ask you something.
Wait a second. That is so conventional. That is submitting to the patriarchy that has perverted the system. And
no, this is how social media is now a part of when you propose marriage.
Was at least in a transgender bathroom.
No, it wasn't, Dan. It was out in a field somewhere beautiful.
Well, of course, in a commune.
Can't there be beauty with love?
Yeah, agrarian co-op.
Hector Singala gets on his knee and asks her to marry him, and he's holding, the engagement ring, and then he takes his smartphone and plays Bernie Sanders actually being the wingman here. Listen.
Hi, this is Senator Bernie Sanders. When we began this campaign 12 months ago, nobody thought that we would get as far as we have. We have made real progress. Oh, wait a second. Hey, Rio, Hector has a question for you. He's a good guy. Why don't you help him out?
Get it? Rio's the girl that he's marrying. So they played. So Bernie set up the proposal.
Not exactly a Shakespearean sonnet from Bernie Sanders.
No, but guess what? She said yes, and now Bernie Sanders might be the ring bearer in the wedding.
And then Bernie had a postscript message. Hector, that's not a chick.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
It's true, you can't take it with you, but you can make sure what you don't take with you goes to the ones you love, not the government. And you can preserve a legacy by doing one of the most important things possible for your children and grandchildren. It's critical to realize that if you don't have an estate plan, everything you own, including your house, cars, and investments, could be tied up in courts for a year or more. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, plus double government taxation. Avoid this by learning estate planning essentials. Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays on AM 560, is hosting a free estate planning workshop on Saturday, May 14th in Oak Brook Terrace. Tom's a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hey, business owners, I want you to stop and think about the one part of your organization that you simply cannot live without. What comes to mind? Your employees, your location, your customers? How about your technology? Let's face it, everything rests on your network running smoothly and efficiently. That's where Turnkey IT comes in. They understand the value of your network and the crucial role it plays for your company. They'll keep your network up and running and resolve any problems so you can focus on the important things. They're there 24/7, yes, even on weekends. Turnkey's IT's team of professionals will respond to you quickly. They won't roll their eyes when you ask them a question or try to dazzle you with confusing technical jargon. This spring, Turnkey IT is offering a free security audit. So even if you have an IT guy, this free security audit will help you understand if they are keeping your data safe from viruses and hackers. So visit turnkey.pro today to schedule your free security audit and mention that Amy sent you. Again, that's turnkey.pro.
The average Republican voter out there right now is looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't want somebody who comes from Washington. I don't want somebody to get along with Democrats, not this year. I want the whole system blown up. That's why Trump, or that's why Cruz.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year.
Hi, this is Senator Bernie Sanders. When we began this campaign 12 months ago.
If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. When purchasing a home, you could call your bank, surf the internet, or you can call me. Why me? Because in addition to my outstanding customer service, market knowledge, and low rates, I have a team of dedicated in-house underwriters, which gives me total control over the loan process. If you're purchasing a home, always compare closing costs, interest rates, and make sure your lender has in-house underwriting. If your lender doesn't underwrite their own loans, hang up and call me immediately. If you'd like to work with an experienced team of loan professionals who will always look out for your financial best interest, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
We've all heard commercials where they chatter about how large their inventory is, how big their discounts are. Well, this is where the zinc meets your metal. Gatto Industrial Platers on Roosevelt Road in Chicago is home to North America's largest plating line. They can handle parts up to 27 feet long, weighing up to 8,000 pounds, including a production rack and barrel zinc plating line that can process up to 300 tons of parts each and every day. But Gatto Platers can also handle zinc plating of a small box of screws and all in between, with 24 to 48-hour turnaround service and a fleet of trucks all over Chicagoland. As their owner, George, says, Gatto is big, we're good, and we're easy to work with. Learn why George says what he says at GattoPlaters.com. That's GATTO Platers.com. Or call George at 800-290-1223. Gatto Platers, proud to sponsor AM 560's Feed the Children program. Find them online at GattoPlaters.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Are separate bathrooms like separate drinking fountains in the Jim Crow era at 6:06.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here, once again, is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching for you. A deadly night of tornadoes crossing the nation's midsection. Fox with the latest on that story. Deadly semi-crash in Western Springs. And developments after a bank robbery suspect was shot and killed by Chicago police. Frazier's 12th inning grand slam, enough for the White Sox, and a rainy day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Voters are at the polls in coal country, West Virginia, where Bernie Sanders could pick up steam, at least temporarily.
Hillary Clinton maintains a wide delegate lead. She has 2,228 delegates to Bernie Sanders' 1,454.
Fox's Rich Edson in Charleston, West Virginia. This retired GM worker says he's never voted for a Republican, but that Donald Trump has him undecided.
He says the right stuff. He's just not one of these established politicians. That's not working very good.
Republicans also vote in Nebraska today, the first primary since Trump's last two rivals dropped out. He and Hillary Clinton both within 200 delegates of the number needed for their party's nominations. The plains get pounded again by tornadoes.
We was up in the upper shed and I opened the door and seen it, and it started going east and then it come back, and the dog and I headed for the basement and didn't make it.
He survived clinging to a tree in Nebraska, but at least 2 deaths reported in Oklahoma. Forecasters warning the Ohio and Tennessee valleys to be on alert today. Bloody footprints at a train station in Germany after a deadly stabbing attack. Fox Radio's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Lisa, 1 person killed and 3 others wounded in an early morning attack at a train station near Munich.
Bei der Ausführung der Tat.
Investigators saying the assailant expressed political motivations during the attack, shouting in Arabic, according to witnesses, although they're also looking at suggestions he was mentally disturbed or maybe a drug addict. Police have a suspect in custody, a 27-year-old German man identified in news reports only as Paul H. Lisa?
Simon, now that a monster wildfire has moved away from Fort McMurray in Canada, helicopters dropping water on hotspots and damage assessments underway. 2,400 homes and other buildings destroyed, but firefighters saved 25,000 structures, and they're making plans for nearly 90,000 evacuees to return. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, clouds right now, 52 degrees. Winds are out of the east at 13 miles an hour. It is 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A person is dead following a semi-crash in the western suburbs. The truck was traveling on the Tri-State early this morning when it slammed into a median wall in Western Springs. Lanes of the tollway were closed in each direction as crews continue to clear that scene. Investigation ongoing after Chicago police shot and killed a bank robbery suspect on the southwest side. Officers chased down that man on foot yesterday after he robbed a Byline bank near 49th Street and Archer Avenue. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson believes it's not the first bank the offender has hit in the city.
The description is the same. He has distinctive shoes that he had on today, so we think the same individual committed a bank robbery a few days ago.
Detectives believe the offender was involved in that bank robbery in the city of Chicago over the weekend. A driver is dead after slamming an SUV into a northwest suburban school. Police say the crash happened yesterday near the Station Middle School in Barrington. No students or staff were hurt. Authorities are still looking for the man suspected of shooting a police officer in the town of Mahomet. State police believe Dracy Clint Pendleton. He was now in Pope County in the Shawnee National Forest. Investigators say both Officer Jeremy Charlo and the suspect were wounded while exchanging gunfire. The officer is recovering at home. Chicago sports, White Sox over Texas 8-4 in 12 innings. Todd Frazier's grand slam was the icing on the cake for the White Sox last night. San Diego and the Cubs wiped out because of rain. In the NHL last night, 2 Game 6s. Dallas beat St. Louis 3-2. In Nashville, the Predators knocked off San Jose 4-3. So there will be Game 7s in both of those series. Steph Curry had 40 last night, leading Golden State to a playoff triumph over Portland. The news service of LifeLock, grabbing coffee or breakfast. If you swipe that card, you leave a trail of digital information that thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems Go to LifeLock.com now, promo code RISK to save 10%. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Personal finance is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge.
Dave Ramsey.
The reason you're in debt is behavior, not math. The way you get out of debt is behavior, change, not math. You can't borrow your way out of debt. How many times have you heard someone say, I had a whole bunch of credit card debt and I paid it off by getting a second mortgage? You didn't pay it off, you moved it.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weeknights starting at 7, right before Michael Medved at 10. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork?
That's negative Control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly and seamlessly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online.
Copy that, QL1, but if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there?
They're out there, all right. I've made contact before. In fact, according to J.D. Power, they've provided award-winning client service for 6 years in a row.
Roger that, QL1. It's nice to know they're out there, wherever they are.
Detroit Control. They're in Detroit. Over.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
It is 6:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Let's get the latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And due to that overnight truck crash on the Tri-State Tollway at 47th Street, Western Springs, we have massive delays, especially northbound. Traffic is at a standstill from Archer to 47th, where 2 left lanes are closed for the ongoing investigation and cleanup. Northbound, it is jammed. Ogden to 47th, where 1 left lane is blocked. River Forest, North Avenue is closed in both directions in First Avenue and Thatcher due to a crash. Edens is wet but otherwise okay. Kennedy inbound, slow from the River Road toll to Canfield. 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, up on 21. Eisenhower, 35 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, up on 30. Stevenson, already 42 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 425. Traffic service of Amtrak. Once-in-a-lifetime journeys depart daily. See where the train can take you. Go ahead and take that surprise trip to see the family and friends you've been thinking about. Ride Amtrak from Chicago to New Orleans or Minneapolis, St. Paul for as low as $54. Go to Amtrak.com and see where the train can take you. Restrictions apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Let's get the latest with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Periods of rain and a thunderstorm for today with a high 67, then a shower or a thunderstorm in the area tonight with a low 54. Clouds and sun tomorrow with a high 72. Tomorrow night becoming cloudy with occasional late-night rain and a thunderstorm with a low 57. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
50 at O'Hare, 49 along Chicago's lakefront. It's 55 in Aurora. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know who likes dueling lawsuits?
Lawyers?
That's right, and me, particularly when it's a constitutional issue or even a statutory issue, and an end run being done around the Constitution in terms of the lawmaking process, which is what the Department of Justice is doing as it pertains to HB2. This is the North Carolina statute that says, it says that, adult men shouldn't be in the bathroom with little girls.
Well, if you were born a man, it says that on your birth certificate, then you use the men's washroom. You do not, under any circumstances, use the women's washroom.
Is that tantamount to separate drinking fountains in the Jim Crow era? Because that's what Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General of the United States, I'm serious. She's the Attorney General. I'm serious about that.
Right.
And I'm serious that she made that comparison to separate black-white drinking fountains from Jim Crow. You agree with that? 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA. Turnkey.pro text line. Seems to me there's two issues to address. One is the legal issue. What does the Civil Rights Act of 1964 say? What is the interpretation of Title VII? What is the interpretation of Title IX? So that's a legal question. And then there's the normative question of what should we do as a society as it pertains to this whole self-identification of gender, of which there are 71 choices according to Facebook, which you can use so long as you're a liberal.
Well, are transgenders a protected class?
No.
Okay,
They're not.
that's what she was saying yesterday. She said the
She's wrong.
state-sponsored bill is discrimination, and she wants people in the transgenders, transsexual community to know that we see you, we're here for you.
We see you. We stand with you, and we will do everything we can to protect you going forward.
Little monkey woman.
Yeah,
lean and mean, and you're not too far. It's from Caddyshack.
Okay. I thought you.
Come on.
Come on now.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. You're right.
All right.
But that's the thing. 312-642-5600. And didn't we have a civil war to have state rights? I mean, why does the Department of Justice, the big federal government, have to come in and say you can't do this? So now we have dueling lawsuits.
Title VII. Let's just go to Title VII of the 64 Civil Rights Act. Let's just make this real simple. It prohibits private and public employers, including state governments, from discriminating on these bases: race, color, religion, sex, and national origin.
Okay.
We got that? And Title IX, of course, prohibits federally funded educational institutions from discriminating on the basis of sex. Neither statute prohibits sexual orientation or gender identity discrimination. Sexual orientation, not a protected class under the Civil Rights Act of 64. For more than 20 years, in fact, LGBT alphabet soup activists will have sought to amend the law, the whole ENDA, Employment Non-Discrimination Act, that would add sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes within federal non-discrimination law. And for more than 2 decades, they have failed. It is not the law. There is no interpretation consistent with the position that Attorney General Loretta Lynch articulated. Period, the end, full stop. That's the law. Now, you can say it shouldn't be the law, but there's a lawmaking process if you want to amend the law, and you go through. You either go through the legislative process or you go through the adjudicative process, the judicial process. You don't get to say, except in the authoritarian regime that we have now, nope, I don't like that interpretation, so here's what the law means now because I'm the ruler.
Yes, and here is Queen Bee.
Let us write a different story this time. Let us not act out of fear and misunderstanding, but out of the values of inclusion and diversity and regard for all that make our country great.
Can I read a little passage from an interesting piece from Nick Kristof in New York Times? Nick Kristof, big liberal. His piece, A Confession of Liberal Intolerance. We progressives believe in diversity, and we want women, black, Latinos, gays, and Muslims at the table, so long as they aren't conservatives. University is the bedrock of progressive values, but the one kind of diversity that universities disregard is ideological and religious. We're fine with people who don't look like us as long as they think like us. So understand, and that's, as the column is entitled, A Confession of Liberal Intolerance. Liberal intolerance. Those two things are synonymous. Those two words are synonymous. And this is another example of ramrodding down an interpretation to appeal to a particular constituency, to continue to dissemble Western values and the kind of, to continue the sexual revolution started in the 60s, where anything goes and we're all solipsists wandering around believing whatever, comes from our being. Okay. Well, it's one way to do it. Philip in Blue Island, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
First of all, can you explain the monkey woman comment?
I just said Caddyshack. I was doing a Bill Murray impersonation. You little monkey woman, you're lean and you're mean and you're not too far in between. I see you, riffing off Loretta Lynch saying, we see you. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. See, of course I didn't understand that.
You didn't see Caddyshack? Philip, right after you get off the phone, I want you to go see. I will watch Caddyshack today.
Come on, I ain't got no time for Caddyshack. But I've seen it. But the monkey woman is just, and for your man to put that with Loretta Lynch and civil rights, it just kind of just. That's just the way you think. But
yeah, okay.
Even putting all that together with civil rights. Listen, I agree. No boy need to be in no girl's bathroom. 100%.
Okay.
So I'm totally against all of that insanity. But to make it's not a race. It's just why monkey woman and civil rights.
Philip, excuse me. I'm not making it a civil rights issue. Loretta Lynch is the one who compared it to black and white drinking fountains, not me.
Why don't you just say what she says? I don't think she ever said anything about water fountains.
She compared the act of preserving bathrooms for people of the same sex to Jim Crow, and she hearkened back to the days of segregated water fountains. That's what she did in her remarks. I'm not going to play her entire remarks on the show. That's what she said. Go look at any of the news accounts. That's exactly the argument that she made. Thanks for the call, Philip. Kent in Lincoln Park.
Good morning, guys. I think this, it's horrible. This is just another example of the lack of respect that the Obama administration has towards the plight of African Americans in this country and what they went through, to try to, compare what's going on with the use of bathrooms to the plight of African Americans in the 60s. And you know what? This is just this also goes to the way that liberal Democrats treat the African American community. They're more of a means to an end to the establishment than they are human beings that need to have their lives improved and their families, be treated better. They have no respect whatsoever for African Americans, period.
Thanks for the call, Kent. Mike in Kansas City, Missouri.
Hey, good morning, Amy and Dan. How you shoot in and save the day. So, they're ratifying what all the CEOs want.
Yeah.
And it would be fun if we could get the Bernie Sanders supporters' attention for 20 seconds and point that out, that they're bunkmates in all this social justice nonsense. It's all the CEOs. It's big money. It's big Wall Street.
Thanks for the call, Mike. And maybe you should force everybody to get the key to the corporate bathroom and all these corporations. For the CEO.
To see. Well,
so
a lot
the
of
CEOs
schools
can enjoy the experience.
Yeah, a lot of schools, including Downers Grove, they are putting in gender-neutral bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like the third stall, and that's what they did at Channel 7 when Tim became Terry. They put in their own bathroom because some of the women at Channel 7 did not want her in the same washroom, which I've been in the same washroom as a transgender, with a transgender. And
you were transgendered?
No, I was in the washroom once with a transgender woman.
You said as a transgender.
No, did I say no? Yeah. With a transgender. And
turn.
I was fine. I mean, we were at the Wheeling Police Department. We were both covering because she worked as a photographer. We're in this bathroom at the same time, and I didn't think anything of it.
What about
But I'm not a school student.
But what about a bathroom for its? Like 55-year-old dragon Richard Hernandez, who now identifies as Eva Tiamat Baphomet Medusa. I'm not kidding. A man turned woman now insists he's really a dragon and has taken drastic surgical and artistic steps to make his dream a reality. We've talked about him before, but
yeah.
But I mean, he had his ears removed and his nose bone removed, and he's got little horns in his head, and he's all tatted up, scaly style.
And they split his tongue.
Yeah, and he wants. I mean, he wishes to be referred to as an it.
I mean, any plastic surgeon that did this to him should be thrown in jail.
Why?
And get their license removed.
He's living his truth. And now where's
they surgically implanted horns in this guy.
Where's his bathroom? Where's its bathroom?
I don't know, but regardless, male, female, if that thing walked into the bathroom, I would be scared. Sorry. Or it, because he's not a man or a woman.
It's a bigot. Anti-dragonist. Chris in Woodstock.
Morning, guys. My question is, where does this end? I mean, if I feel like I'm an African-American inside, even though I'm white, how can they say I'm wrong? How can they have it both ways?
Ask Rachel Dolezal. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Chris. Exactly. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm going to say what would I want? I mean, I'm going to position myself as something for convenience or to access a benefit that I shouldn't otherwise have access to. Well, why not?
Uniform rules for running a presidential primary. States' rights are so important to them, and yet they want to control the use of every bathroom in America. These people are absolutely retarded.
Good. Well, let's not use that. Thanks for the call, Tom. I don't like the retarded word.
No. Keep it classy, Tom.
Say they're impaired morally.
There you go.
And intellectually.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, Alan, her name used to be Cheyenne, coming forward. She goes to Downers Grove South, and she wants to tell you what it's like to be a transgender high school student. But first, here's your forecast today. Cloudy, warmer. As you can tell, the rain's coming down right now. We're going to have a thunderstorm in spots by this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees. Tonight, showers or thunderstorms, and then finally it ends tomorrow. Clouds and sunshine, a pleasant high of 70 degrees. Anything pleasant on the roadways? I doubt it. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Not at all, Amy and Dan. The Tri-State Tollway is just a complete mess. After an overnight truck wreck at 47th Street, northbound traffic is jammed. I mean, absolutely jammed at a standstill from 95th to 47th, where 2 left lanes are closed for the investigation and cleanup. Southbound, huge delays from 31st to 47th, where 1 left lane is closed. In River Forest, North Avenue is shut down in both directions. Between First Avenue and Thatcher, the crash with 6 ambulances at the scene. Eden's inbound heavy at Peterson. It's 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Eisenhower, already 50 minutes from Thorndale to the post office, outbound 38. Stevenson, 55 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. The Ryan, 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford, 35. And the northbound Veterans Memorial has delays from 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. This, for some, is one alternate to the mess on 294. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
A text, how bad is Loretta Lynch? She makes me miss Eric Holder. Whew, that's bad. Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution? Well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks. So follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. That number again, 312-453-7777. Or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4inet.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard. In my travels, I occasionally hear a Balance of Nature ad on the radio. These products are the culmination of my life's work, and I'm often surprised at my emotions that arise when people talk about how they have improved the quality of their life.
One thing that I'm amazed about is that prior to taking this, I was having hot flashes like almost every day, sometimes periodically, and haven't had them since then. So by all means, that's the one thing that I'm very grateful for.
These people are real. I'd like to thank the Balance of Nature customers for trusting me and for allowing me to help them in their pursuit of health.
Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Great talent is the driving force behind your successful business. If you don't have the right people in key roles, then you have talent gaps. IMC Solutions identifies those gaps and delivers expertise in recruiting the right talent to fill them, leaving you free to succeed.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Linda Nichols, founder of IMC Solutions. We're a niche recruiting and staffing firm that specializes in placing human resources and sales professionals. We've created programs that are just right for your small to medium-sized business because we know that you're looking for expertise, but are also looking at the bottom line expenses to your company. You can take advantage of recruiting services that big companies get, but you don't have to pay the big fees. Our programs and solutions are affordable and bring you the people you need.
IMC Solutions understands the unique challenges of your business, making the tough job of hiring easy. Get started on finding your next hire today at imcsolutions.com or call Linda Nichols at 630-637-6200.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Here's a good scheme. Text from 312. I'm telling the life insurance company that I perceive myself as deceased. My wife and I are going to split the money. So I got some entrepreneurial thinkers out there.
Well, in Downers Grove, District 99, they've constructed single-use restrooms at each of its schools, north and south, as well as several private dressing stalls in the girls' and boys' locker rooms. And they did that primarily for a student named Alan.
And primarily at taxpayer expense.
Alan Wright, who was born Cheyenne and hates hearing when people call him Cheyenne.
I hate saying it. I hate hearing it, but it is... I feel like a part of who I was in the past. It felt uncomfortable. It felt awkward. I mean, all the other, girls were going through whatever, and they seemed to be happy and developing well, and I was just miserable,
Yeah, that's just hold there for a second.
Okay.
That's really unusual, isn't it? For a pre-adolescent or adolescent teenage girl or boy, for that matter, to not be happy all the time, to be self-conscious about her body or his body. That's unusual. The only explanation for that is that that person is a boy trapped in a woman's body, right?
Well, according to Jennifer Lininger, she runs the gender program at Lurie's Children's Hospital. She says while being transgender is uncommon, Dan, it's also normal.
You can't diagnose it. It's not a disease. It's just a normal variation in human diversity.
So
it's just these psychiatrists. I mean, they're just they're PC-addled, centurions for the state, just like the politicians are. I mean, these psychiatrists.
Well, a voice of reason that you may agree with is Cedra Crenshaw. Remember her? Now she's working for the conservative grassroots organization called Protect Children, Preserve Families.
Schools are not the right place. They're the wrong place for social experiments. The point is that no child should be forced into an intimate setting in a school, like a restroom or a locker room, with a child of the opposite sex.
Yeah, is that crazy? By the way, Cedra Crenshaw, to Loretta Lynch's argument, Cedra Crenshaw is an African-American female.
Yes, she is.
So I don't think she's on board for the this is essentially separate water fountains by race during Jim Crow, which is the argument that Loretta Lynch was advancing. And it goes to what Nick Kristof wrote about in the New York Times, which is, we like, as liberals, our liberal intolerance, we like people who look different than us so long as they think the same. You have to hew to the liberal orthodoxy, and that's really the issue here. And it goes for that psychiatrist you played as well. I refer her to Paul McHugh's work as the head of psychiatry at Johns Hopkins, and Johns Hopkins' work in this space as a forerunner to dealing with gender reassignment surgeries and the impact of those surgeries, and be interested in her distillation of that scientific evidence.
Well, just so you know, Alan, who used to be Cheyenne, 17 years old, has the option to use the boys' restroom at school, but chooses a unisex stall instead, and here's why.
It's already hard when you're very insecure about your body. So the best thing that people could do for us is give us validation and support. It makes me feel alive.
You can be empathetic to someone, and you exhibit tolerance, and you treat everyone with dignity. That is not the same thing as having to sign on and validate any inappropriate idea that springs from someone's mind, particularly some kid. That's why we're adults, honestly. And that's why adults are in charge of society, or at least they used to be.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. This is Michael Medved, and I've done some research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free. Guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106 out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day. Now, he does it by attracting multiple full-price offers that increase demand and help sell your home fast and at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I were selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd call Saul. Go online to callsaul.net. That's callsaul, S-A-U-L.net. Or call Saul now at 888-346-0666. That's callsaul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
A good question from a tweeter. Does that mean this new protocol to mean adult male coaches will be able to shower with the teen girls? I mean, why not? Because we can't judge. Why should there be any lines drawn, and how do you draw those lines? It's a good question. That's where we're going.
Hey, this weekend, you can have some fun and make a difference. Be a part of the Walk for Dyslexia this Saturday, May 14th at 9 a.m. in Bloomingdale. Dyslexia is a reading condition that affects over 200,000 people in the Chicagoland area alone. Now, this walk supports the Children's Dyslexia Center of Metropolitan Chicago, one of the biggest and best training centers in the country. The center helps give kids the tools they need to achieve all of their potential, and all treatments are free. Why? Because the center is funded by donations. Every walker counts. So you can bring your family, start a team, or just take the walk and make a difference and make a donation. It will be a great time for everyone. It's easy, it's fun, and 100% of the proceeds goes directly to helping the kids. There's still time to sign up. Go to walkfordyslexia.org. That's walkfordyslexia.org. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
An endorsement for Donald Trump that we'll need to get used to. We'll discuss with Fred Barnes from the Weekly Standard at 6:36.
Can't wait. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, one person is dead, 3 injured after a stabbing in Germany. The attack happening at a suburban train station near Munich. Bystanders saying the man yelled Allah Akbar before stabbing men with a knife. The suspect is under arrest. West Virginia and Nebraska holding presidential primaries today. Democrats and Republicans voting in West Virginia. Nebraska's primary is a GOP contest only. A man in federal prison says he's Prince's sole surviving heir. Carlin Williams is asking for DNA testing to prove he is the late singer's son. 2 are dead after tornadoes tore through Oklahoma. Funnel clouds also reported in Iowa and Nebraska, and severe weather steaming into the Ohio Valley this morning. The Justice Department countersuing North Carolina over the state's bathroom law. Attorney General Loretta Lynch.
We are filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against the state of North Carolina, Governor Pat McCrory, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, and the University of North Carolina.
And North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory says the courts should actually be the ones to step into the issue.
I have asked a federal court to clarify what the law actually is.
Person is dead following a semi-crash in the western suburbs. The truck traveling on the tri-state early this morning when it slammed into a median wall near Western Springs. A Mexican federal judge rules that accused drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman can be extradited back to the United States. It's not clear where he will stand trial in the U.S. He's been indicted here in Chicago. Governor Bruce Rauner and other Republicans say bipartisan groups of lawmakers are making progress on initiatives that Rauner says are essential to a deal on a long-delayed state budget. Even Democrat Senator Andy Maynard is acknowledging general progress and positive discussions in a process being driven by the governor. White Sox over Texas 8-4 in 12 innings thanks to a Todd Frazier grand slam. San Diego and the Cubs rained out. The news, a service of CiCi's Pizza. CiCi's brings 3 new flatbread pizzas to the Unlimited Buffet. Try the new Spinach Alfredo, Chicken Bacon Club, and Honey Barbecue Chicken. More flavor to explore for the same great value. 5 and change, only at CiCi's. Better believe it. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's time for the GOP to come together.
You know the saying, pride goeth before the fall. So now it's time for people to man up, lose your pride, eat your crow, and unify for the good of the United States of America. Now it's time for the real fight to begin.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
Psoriasis and vitiligo are serious diseases. You've tried everything and have been disappointed. Now there's X-Track, a breakthrough treatment that provides long-lasting, safe relief. X-Track is FDA cleared for the treatment of psoriasis and vitiligo and is endorsed by thousands of dermatologists and hospitals because it works. Clinical studies show immediate results with up to 95% clearance. The in-office visits are fast, painless, with virtually no side effects. With thousands of providers treating patients all over the country, X-Track is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare. We'll help you find a doctor close by, and there is no cost to you until you see results. Get your life back. Live free. Live X-Track clear.
For your no-cost treatment, call now 800-972-3143. That's 800-972-3143. 800-972-3143 or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply, results may vary.
It is 6:36. Let's get the latest in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The southbound tri-state has heavy delays from 31st to 47th, but the left lane is closed after that overnight truck crash into the center barrier. But the heavier delays are northbound. It is essentially at a standstill right now. Traffic is from 115th to 47th, where 2 left lanes are closed for the ongoing cleanup and investigation. In River Forest, North Avenue is closed. Between Thatcher and First Avenue, 6 ambulances have reported to a crash there. Eden's 30 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 20. The Kennedy, 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35. The Eisenhower's, 55 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 38. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, Bishop Ford, really heavy. The northbound Veterans Memorial has delays, 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Folks using that as an alternate to 294. Traffic is a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast? If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Fear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to LifeLock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cloudy and warmer today, rain and drizzle in the morning, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, high 67. Currently, we have 50 at O'Hare. Next news at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So how about this Trump endorsement? You never know. This is going to be strange. The singer, rapper,
oh no,
Azalea Banks. You know her?
Sure.
Yeah, you're not down with the kids like I am.
I'm not one of the cool kids. What does she sing?
Miss Banks took to Twitter over the weekend and tweeted, "I really want Donald Trump to win the election." She talked about her support for the a-hole GOP candidate over Hillary Clinton because Clinton, quote, talks to black people as if we're children or pets.
Wow.
How about that?
What's her name again?
Azalea Banks. Yeah,
I'm old school. I'm typing
You're going to iTunes.
Google Images.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know who she is.
So, she goes, Trump's an a-hole, but he's not been groomed and programmed on some multicultural tip to do and say what the establishment wants him to. Trump just wants the USA to be lavish for all of us. I can support that. I'm paraphrasing.
Thank you.
To keep it
And
within FCC boundaries.
what else
Well,
we're
so it's just a kind of, it's just kind of interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of antagonism towards Hillary, and not a lot of enthusiasm. Now, there's a great deal of antagonism for Trump, but there's also enthusiasm for him, and I think that is important.
You know who his buffer is, his go-to guy? Ben Carson. He's meeting with Paul Ryan tomorrow before Donald Trump meets with Paul Ryan on Thursday.
Well, that's
just to find out,
that's probably
field some, to see what kind of tone the meeting's going to take.
Well, that's probably good. Ben Carson in between those two probably brings the kind of tone to a room temperature level, which is probably a good thing.
He's in charge of vetting candidates for his VP nominee.
It's all right. I like Ben Carson
I do too.
as a
I trust him
surrogate.
in that position.
All right, let's get more on this election. He's no Azalea Banks, but he is the executive editor of the Weekly Standard. He's Fred Barnes. He joins us now. Fred, thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. I was listening to that endorsement. Now, I'll have to say, I've never heard of that woman, but she sure got it right. About Hillary treating them like a pet or children, treating African Americans that way. I think a lot feel that way, but she actually said it.
Yeah, so it's an encouraging note.
I'm waiting for Bob Dylan to decide who he's going to back this year.
Sure. Yeah, we have the artists of our era. I understand. Where are you? Bill Kristol kind of was on some of the talkies over the weekend, still holding the flame for a third-party candidate, sort of. And where are you with Trump? Are you in the Paul Ryan camp of I want to try and get to support him, but I need some help, or are you still hashtag Never Trump?
Oh no, I've never been hashtag Never Trump. I'm, if anything, I'm hashtag Never Hillary, and that's why I'm probably more in Trump's camp than not, just because of who he's running against, Hillary. I mean, my view is that Hillary would be a disaster for the country, for the Supreme Court, for the economy, for our foreign affairs, and just for the honesty of the office. Of the presidency, it would be a disaster. So Trump makes it hard for you. He makes it hard for a lot of conservatives to, one, say they're going to vote for him, and two, actually do it. But we'll see. I think more are going to turn that way if particularly if Trump can rope in Paul Ryan, and the way to do it is just to agree with him on some things, and so they can reconcile their two agendas, which are hardly identical at the moment.
Well, speaking of those two, Donald Trump now saying that he might not have Paul Ryan be the chairman of the Republican convention. Is that just a game that he's playing before they have their big meeting on Thursday, or do you think he's serious?
I assume it is. I mean, that's just the way he is. You're fired. That's his great line. Hey, I'll fire you if you don't come around. I think most of us, well, I won't say most of us, me, I'm not quite used to that style that Trump has. If some guy, you're going to have a meeting with him and you want to reconcile with him, you don't unleash your dogs on him to trash him. As, Sarah Palin says, his Ryan's political career is over, and the press secretary for Trump says he's not fit to be speaker and things like that. That's not the normal way of trying to reach an agreement with somebody.
No, and when Trump was on the talk shows of the weekend, he essentially distinguished those people that he enjoys trashing, like Jeb and Lindsey Graham, whose endorsements he's indifferent about, from Paul Ryan, and said, no, Paul Ryan's different, and thus this meeting. And so do you think it would be a mistake if Trump didn't come to some kind of accord with Paul Ryan and didn't have him there as the convention chair?
It would be a tremendous mistake on Trump's behalf. Unfortunately, he seems to think, now maybe he's changing, but at the moment he seems to think that uniting the party means that everybody comes to him, and he sits on the throne, and they come and kiss the ring. Clearly, Paul Ryan is not going to do that, and lots of others aren't either. And look, Ryan represents a lot of people. He represents what I call at least a congressional wing of the party, and of course, Trump has already captured the presidential wing. But Republicans in Congress, a lot of people in the conservative movement, sort of the business community, certainly all the party ideological ideological and policy elites, the think tanks in Washington and so on. He represents those. Paul Ryan's been around for a while. I met him when he was 22. He's 46 now, and so he has a lot of admirers and allies all over the landscape, particularly in Washington, but not just in Washington. And I think Trump needs to take that into account.
Now, recently we've been hearing news about who would be better for women. Would it be Donald Trump? Would it be Hillary Clinton? Donald Trump calling Hillary an enabler because of Bill's philanthropic or not
philandering.
Philandering, excuse me. And what do you think? Who would be better for women?
I don't even know what that means, better for women,
Yes.
I mean, my wife doesn't like Hillary, and she doesn't like Trump. But she, most women, I shouldn't try to speak for most women because I can't. But
Fred, aren't women monolithic? All women think the same thing?
At least some of the women I know don't look at it on candidates as, is he good for me as a woman? They have the same, they look at a candidate the same way all of us do, well, no, look, is this somebody, is he going to, conservative who's going to reestablish America's influence in the world? Is he going to build up the military? Is he going to get the economy out of this 2% or less growth rut? And so on. Looks at the things that we all do and not. Is he, who's good for me as a woman? I mean, I don't look at candidates as who's good for me as a man.
Speaking of someone who's not good for a woman, Brian Pagliano, not good for Hillary Clinton. This is the IT staffer that set up her private server, who's got a immunity deal with the feds, and can't find any emails from his State Department time, his time at the State Department. Brian Pagliano, his emails have gone missing. That's a curious development.
Deja vu. We've certainly seen this a lot before, and one of the things that happens is that they show up later, and we'll see if they do. But
after they've been properly scrubbed.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but the fact that probably so. The fact is, if he's gotten immunity and is helping the investigation, they may not need the emails.
Well, when is she going to be interviewed by the FBI?
Or maybe she won't be, and the FBI needs to bring their this investigation to a conclusion and present whatever they're going to present to DOJ.
Well, I'm not sure what or when they're going to, but as Hillary said, it's just a security review. That's why they have more than 100 FBI agents on it to do with this security review.
Very comprehensive.
She still says that, and she knows perfectly well that that's not true. The FBI does not do security reviews. They do criminal investigations. They don't do security reviews. She keeps saying that. It's just another one of the untruths that she utters, and that one all the time. I mean, that's not something you can say, well, she's just sort of fudging it. She's not fudging it. She's saying something that's absolutely not true.
And do you expect anything remarkable to happen in the primaries today, West Virginia, Nebraska, other than coal miners voting against Hillary?
Well, they're going to vote against her. I mean, West Virginia, it's interesting to see states flip. When it flipped I guess about 10 or 12 years ago, but West Virginia used to be a solid Democratic state. Now it's a pretty solid Republican state. I think it first turned on social issues, and now the whole economy, particularly the coal mining economy, being so crushed by Obama and Hillary. Hillary made another mistake, another lie, when she had said, my policy is a lot of coal mines are going to close.
Uh-oh.
Sorry for the dog.
Dogs are barking.
He's hungry. Take me out, Fred.
I fed them already.
Sure you did.
3 dogs here. I get up at the crack of dawn to feed them.
All right, Fred Barnes, executive editor at the Weekly Standard, weeklystandard.com. Fred, thanks always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good to talk to you.
Oh, he's the best.
Quickly, Matthew in Hammond, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Dan, I think I was disappointed yesterday to hear a little bit of a softening in your stance against Trump. I know you've gotten some crap from callers wanting you to ease up on him, and I really hope that you, as a conservative, that you do. I mean, you really hold the fort for us, never Trumpers.
All right. And why are you a never Trumper, Matthew?
I don't believe in him. He's a fraud. To be honest, the fact that he is where he's at makes me kind of queasy. I know that supposedly an expanded electorate is a good thing, but after this year, I don't agree with that. And I really want him and his uneducated minions to go away. The only way that's going to happen is for him to get his butt whooped in November. And people like you, who at your core, in your heart, you completely disagree with everything about him. And, you're familiar with the Hamilton rule, and I 100% support that.
All right. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Matthew. Appreciate it.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Some foggy, gray conditions out there, light rain on and off throughout the day. Thunderstorms in spots by this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees. Then tonight, a shower or thunderstorm. And tomorrow, finally, a break from the rain. It will be cloudy, some sunshine, and warmer, a high near 70 degrees. Let's get the latest on that fatal accident on I-294. Here's Jim Talamonte.
It's really awful, Amy. Major truck wreck just north of 47th has left huge delays northbound from 127th to 47th, where 2 left lanes are closed. The truck involved was actually headed southbound. There's 1 left lane blocked there north of 47th. The delays start at the Cermak Toll Plaza. In River Forest, 6 ambulances have reported to a collision which has North Avenue closed between First Avenue and Thatcher. The Aiden's inbound is now 40 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 25. Kennedy, 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 55. The Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 50 minutes. The Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 45 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 55 minutes to 355. The Ryan, 27 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes. I-80 to the Merge Bishop Ford, 45. And the other tollways besides the Tri-State also have significant delays, especially the Veterans Memorial, which is for someone alternate. It's really slow northbound from the Des Plaines River Bridge to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Ride-hailing services suspended in Austin, Texas, and J.C. Penney's new rollout. Those stories next.
Attention, all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you confused with what you were buying or didn't provide what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid for your timeshare, can't afford it, or do you simply not use it anymore and just want out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. In some cases, we can even get you a refund of the fees you previously paid. But you must act now. Call 800-811-7670 or visit timesharecompliance.com for a free consultation. We can help you save thousands, but only if you call 800-811-7670 or visit timesharecompliance.com for an absolutely free consultation. That's 800-811-7670 or timesharecompliance.com.
Uber and Lyft have suspended ride-hailing service in Austin, Texas. Voters there failed to overturn city regulations they opposed. Under those rules, drivers must undergo fingerprint-based background checks by February 1st of 2017. Uber and Lyft prefer name-based checks. After a successful test marketing, JCPenney is expanding its rollout of refrigerators and other major appliances in almost half of its stores. 143 nail salons in New York have been ordered to pay $2 million in unpaid wages and damages to 652 workers. Investors today looking at the labor market, and the Labor Department report on job openings and labor turnover will be of interest to investors, as will be the latest wholesale trade data. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting, Dad, for Father's Day on June 19th? Well, you should go get a pillow from MyPillow, 2 for the price of 1. And did you also know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? That's because pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So
Never knew sleeping was so dangerous.
So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow, and so does your dad. And guess what? So does your dog. My dog Bunky is starting to sleep on my pillow. Not kidding you. I'll be tweeting those pictures out. It's so cute.
Gross.
And my pillow has a 10-year warranty, and it's a great gift and a healthy investment. And you'll sleep better. I do. That's why my pillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. So if you haven't done so, do it now. MyPillow.com. Type Amy in that promo code. 2 pillows for the price of one. Give one for dad. Give one to your animal. Keep one for yourself. I don't know. It's your business, but you want to get on this. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call the 800 number, 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Dan Proft with an Upstream idea brought to you by the Illinois Opportunity Project. 27 Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a financial death spiral with ground impact imminent. So keep this in mind as Governor Bruce Rauner breaks off contract talks with AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union. AFSCME has been unwilling to give on its demands for annual step increases of 3.8%, in addition to annual general wage increases. The lowball estimate of the cost of what AFSCME demands is $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion more from Illinois families who already pay the highest property taxes in the nation. This is Governor Rauner's moment of truth. He ran for office saying he is not a politician. He said he is a businessman who will make the difficult decisions to turn around the state he loves. We're about to find out if that's true. For more Upstream ideas, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
We've all heard commercials where they chatter about how large their inventory is, how big their discounts are. Well, this is where the zinc meets your metal. Gatto Industrial Platers on Roosevelt Road in Chicago is home to North America's largest plating line. They can handle parts up to 27 feet long, weighing up to 8,000 pounds, including a production rack and barrel zinc plating line that can process up to 300 tons of parts each and every day. But Gatto Platers can also handle zinc plating of a small box of screws and all in between, with 24 to 48-hour turnaround service and a fleet of trucks all over Chicagoland. As their owner, George, says, Gatto is big, we're good, and we're easy to work with. Learn why George says what he says at GattoPlaters.com. That's G-A-T-T-O Platers.com. Or call George at 800-290-1223. Gatto Platers, proud to sponsor AM 560's Feed the Children program. Find them online at GattoPlaters.com.
Dad, I'm really afraid of what's happening with the economy. There's too much civil unrest, too much terrorism, and unstable global markets. I'm tired of riding the ups and downs of the market. It reminds me of 2008. I was caught off guard then. How do I prepare for the worst now? What'll I do if the dollar collapses?
You gotta stop worrying, son, and take action. It's time to think about a precious metals private storage IRA or an investment in silver with the Gold Silver Group. Like I said before, you insure your house, your car, your kids, and your life. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call Gold Silver Group at 800-943-0829. Learn how easy it is to set up your own precious metals private storage IRA and how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Gold Silver Group can satisfy any of your precious metals investment needs. Receive your gold and silver fully insured and privately delivered to your door. Call Gold Silver Group, 800-943-0829, 800-943-0829.
Hi, I'm Kathy Hamilton, former chairman of the College of DuPage. Thank you for supporting the Walk for Dyslexia and the Children's Dyslexia Center of Metropolitan Chicago. Our center is one of the best. I have dyslexia, and I know the importance of helping kids overcome its challenges. If you didn't make it to the walk, you can still help. 100% of your gift goes to helping kids. Contribute today at walkfordyslexia.org. That's walkfordyslexia.org.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Ken Griffin, it's What for Lunch at 7:07.
And then later, a new university adds a list of places where Eli and Peyton shouldn't go. We'll explain. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a deadly semi-crash in Western Springs remains a trouble spot this morning, and the investigation continues. Todd Frazier's Grand Slam helps the Sox power past the Rangers WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Technically, it's not over yet, despite Hillary Clinton's big lead and Donald Trump's presumptive nominee status. Voters heading to the polls in 2 states. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland with more live.
Lisa, Democrat Bernie Sanders is hoping to upset Hillary Clinton in West Virginia, and he had this message for the Democratic Party on the campaign trail.
If you want to make absolutely certain we defeat Donald Trump, this is the campaign to support.
Presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump would crush the competition in West Virginia if he had any left, according to polls heading into today's race. Republicans are also casting ballots in Nebraska, but turnout could be low. Lisa.
Well, Rachel, a new Quinnipiac poll finds a virtual dead heat between Clinton and Trump in 3 key swing states. Clinton with a 1-point edge in Florida and Pennsylvania. Trump up by 4 points in Ohio. The poll's biggest gap, though, is for Bernie Sanders with a 6-point lead over Trump in Pennsylvania. A deadly stabbing attack at a train station in Germany, where so far they're not calling it terrorism. Fox Radio's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Lisa, a 27-year-old German man is in custody after a series of stabbings at a train station near Munich. 1 person was killed and 3 others wounded. The official word from authorities is the motive is unknown. Witnesses told police the man shouted, "God is great," in Arabic. But there are also suggestions he was mentally disturbed and had drug problems. Investigators say the first victim was attacked on board a train, the second on the platform, and the third and fourth were cyclists outside the station. Lisa?
Simon, tornadoes ripped through the plains. At least 2 people killed in Oklahoma. This Garvin County resident says her basement saved her.
I walked out and I seen everything, and I think I kind of went into shock a little bit.
The same system marching east to the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy with some light rain showers crossing the area. Winds east at 13. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A person is dead following a semi-crash in the western suburbs. State police tell us a tractor trailer traveling on the tri-state early this morning slammed into a median wall near Western Springs. Lanes on the tollway this morning remain shut down in both directions as the cleanup and investigation continues. And we'll get an update on that story with Jim Talamonte in just a moment. There's also an investigation underway after a man was found dead on the Red Line. Police say the victim was discovered early this morning inside a train car near the 63rd Street station. Service was temporarily halted but has since resumed. An investigation is ongoing after Chicago police shot and killed a bank robbery suspect on the southwest side. Officers chased a man on foot yesterday after he robbed the Byline Bank near 49th and Archer. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson believes it's not the first bank the offender has hit in the city.
The description is the same. He has distinctive shoes that he had on today, so we think the same individual committed a bank robbery a few days ago.
Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Prosecutors in Wisconsin have charged a man accused of killing a suburban Illinois woman in a drive-by shooting with shooting his neighbor to death hours earlier in the day. Milwaukee prosecutors filing 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide against Zach Hayes of West Allis in the death of Gabriel Sanchez. Prosecutors in Sauk County charged him last week in the death of Tracy Chakowski in the drive-by shooting on Interstate 9094. Cuts could be coming to the Will County Health Department because of the Illinois budget crisis. 53 employees could be laid off later this month if the state doesn't come up with $2 million for the county. Meantime, Governor Bruce Rauner and other Republicans say bipartisan groups of Illinois lawmakers are making backroom progress on initiatives that Rauner say are essential to a deal on a long-delayed budget. White Sox beat Texas 8-4 in 12 innings thanks to Todd Frazier's grand slam in the 12th inning, a winner for the White Sox last night. San Diego and the Cubs rained out. The news, a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. Do you feel like you're trapped in your timeshare contract? Get out now, safely and legitimately at TimeshareExitTeam.com. They'll get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT. 844-321-EXIT. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560, The Answer.
That's Lisbeth. She doesn't know it, but she owes her life to a change in public opinion. Our younger generation of women is turning the tide of public opinion concerning abortion. The most recent statistics show that more women facing unwanted pregnancies are choosing life compared to 15 years ago. Many wonder why, if a pregnant woman and her unborn child are murdered, it's a double homicide. Yet they ask, why isn't abortion a crime? More women now value life, even if their unwanted child is to be placed for adoption, because they may feel like they can never forgive themselves of an abortion, even if the law does. Lake County Right to Life, helping young women choose courage over convenience. LCRTL.org. That's LCRTL.org. Visit Lake County Right to Life on Twitter and Facebook, or call 847-223-7022.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
QL1, this is Control. Ground crew is secure. Over. Copy that, Control. Rockets powering up. Over. QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork? Negative, Control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly and seamlessly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes. Copy that, QL1. That is fast, like rocket fast. Do you think that's why they named it Rocket Mortgage? Over. Affirmative, Control. That's probably why they named it Rocket Mortgage. It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Roger that, QL1. So technically speaking, you could get a Rocket Mortgage at rocket speed from inside an actual rocket? Please just press the button, Control. Over. Copy that, QL1. 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button. Get mortgage.
Rocket. Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
7:07 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Tri-State north of 47th, there's a little movement now. Only one left lane is blocked in each direction, but the delays are still massive. Southbound from the Cermak toll to 47th, and especially northbound, where traffic is essentially at a standstill from Cicero Avenue up to north of 47th. River Forest, 6 ambulances have reported to a crash, which has North Avenue closed between 1st Avenue and Thatcher. Eden's 40 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 30. The Kennedy 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown outbound it's an hour. The Eisenhower an hour and 5 minutes, Thorndale to downtown outbound 50 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound it's an hour. With the approach to the Tri-State Jam, the Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown, eastbound Adams Tollway, stop and go Higgins to 53, and from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee. Reagan Tollway delays from the Aurora Toll to Eola. Naperville Road to 355, and from the Myers Toll to the Tri-State, the northbound Veterans Memorial Jam. Archer to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today warmer with periods of rain and a thunderstorm with a high of 67. Mostly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the area with a low 54. Clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high of 72. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
51 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Military Mortgage Talk with host Tony Gatliff. Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
She was an unbelievably nasty, mean enabler, and what she did to a lot of those women is disgraceful. So put that in her bonnet and let's see what happens.
I'm going to let him run his campaign however he chooses. I'm going to run my campaign, which is about a positive vision for our country.
He's the nominee. I'll do whatever he wants with respect to the convention. The point is, we just need to get to know each other.
No child should be forced into an intimate setting in a school, like a restroom or a locker room, with a child of the opposite sex.
We believe a court, rather than a federal agency, should tell our state, our nation, and employers across the country what the law requires.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
That's from The King and I.
Getting to like you.
Ow.
Getting to hope you like me too.
You need to add some head voice.
Just like Bing Crosby used to sing it.
Haven't you
To
know?
be honest with you, the whole thing was just horrendous.
Yes, really. I won't continue.
Can I start again? I'll try something else.
Can you start in the key of G?
No.
No, I won't.
Getting to know you. That's what Paul Ryan wants to do with Donald Trump on Thursday. And Paul Ryan kind of ratcheting down some of the tension, not feeding into the media hysteria over the back and forth between Ryan and Trump. And I think probably it gets worked out. It's in the interest of both to get it worked out. So hopefully that'll be the case.
He took a little bit different tone yesterday when asked about it. Paul Ryan did.
He's the nominee. I'll do whatever he wants with respect to the convention. The point is, we just need to get to know each other. And my goal is to help put together a unified party that sticks to our principles.
Getting to know you.
You're so
putting
flat.
it my way, but nicely.
So Paul Ryan.
Isn't that pretty?
Is for no, it's.
And I don't think
god-awful.
you've got star quality. I don't think you ever will.
I have the it factor.
Oh, there's no there.
Oh.
But you excel in other ways. But Paul Ryan first, before he meets with Donald Trump, we're learning he's going to meet with Ben Carson. They want to figure out the line of question and the tone of the meeting. So Ben Carson's the enforcer here. He's got a new role. He's his new BFF.
It'll all be good. This is like the Megyn Kelly interview that's going to be on next Tuesday, I think. This is going to all be good. It's going to be completely different Donald Trump than the antagonistic Donald Trump that had the back and forth with Megyn Kelly or multiple back and forths. The same thing. Paul Ryan and Trump are going to emerge from the meeting on Thursday. Good conversation. Looking forward to unifying the party, working together. I'm still chairman of the RNC, and this will dissipate. That's my prediction, and I am always right. Randy in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. The previous caller right before the break made a comment about uneducated minions when it comes to Donald Trump support. And I'm sick of that. I'm a Donald Trump supporter. I am highly educated. I am an 11-year military veteran. I make six figures. I have a great life. I am not an idiot. I am not stupid or some unintellectual individual. I choose Donald Trump, one, because I do believe that he believes America first. Now, maybe in the past he's taken advantage of a system where he goes to China and have things manufactured, but it's about time somebody talks about America, not necessarily on the global scene. Yes, we're a global economy, but we need somebody that thinks of America's interest when they're in those conversations, not just giving the house away like we did in Iran, like we've done for 20 years in North Korea. These nations look at us and mock us. Look at Russia. It's time we have the conversation. You know, this hard Donald Trump, never Donald Trump, reminds me of another party. It's called the Democrat Party. For years, the Democrat Party have looked at the Republicans and conservatives like we're a bunch of idiots because we don't fall lockstep in line with them. Just because I don't believe in global warming does not mean that I'm an idiot. But that's what the Democrats do.
Yeah, Randy, Right. So I don't think all Trump supporters, I don't think Trump supporters are uneducated. We know from the demographics that it runs the gamut. To some extent, it's much more of a psychographic than it is a demographic, income or race or anything else. So I agree with that. But let me ask you a question, just because we were talking about this a little bit yesterday, too. Now, you're in Crown Point, but I'll ask you anyway. Mark Kirk, would you vote for Mark Kirk against Tammy Duckworth, or would you be a never Kirk?
No, I would actually vote for Mark Kirk for one reason and one reason alone.
Okay.
He does have the R in front of him. Do I agree with all of his policies? No, I do not. Do I agree with Tammy Duckworth's policies less? Absolutely. I agree with her less, because what has she proven? That she falls lockstep with the Democrat ideology. Look, if I have, and I'll give you a Democrat that I would have supported years ago, was Senator Bill Bradley in New Jersey, which I did support him. But Senator Bill Bradley was a pro-life Democrat. Senator Bill Bradley would
Until he wasn't.
But there was a time. But let's go back. Wasn't Mitt Romney pro-choice until he wasn't?
Yeah,
wasn't Ronald
right.
Reagan pro-choice until he was? Look, there is time and opportunity for evolution. But if the Republican Party rips itself apart as it is doing, then there is no way we're ever going to be able to pull Donald Trump more to the solid conservative side. If you go back to the 70s, and you know this, Dan, back in the early and mid-70s when Reagan was actually starting to come on the scene, the party was starting to come apart. And even into 80, when all of a sudden he wins this landslide election, and then in 84, people are sitting here saying, have we ever had a solid conservative as this man? No. They did at that point, but early on they were all questioning this maverick, this outsider. He's not like us. He's not establishment. Look, we got to make a change. We've got to change direction, and we cannot, as a party, destroy ourselves over Donald Trump. We can't. It's just foolhardy.
Thanks for the call, Randy. Fair point.
Well, then we have to get people on board. Mitt Romney, Lindsey Graham. I mean, there's a whole list of, even our Governor Ronner. There's a whole long list, and it does grow, of Republicans, established Republicans, who are never Trumpers.
Alan in Rockford, that's not quite true. If you're sitting out, that's not the same thing as necessarily being a never Trumper. If you're sitting out in terms of, I'm not going to formally endorse, I'm going to focus on my job because you just want to stay above the fray, that's not quite the same thing as being a vociferous never Trumper. But Alan in Rockford, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. Randy's call was really good. But my point is that we live in a flashcard society. Unfortunately, if we don't keep the information in front of people, they're too dense to understand it. So my suggestion is that quit talking about these quote-unquote Republican conservative principles. Publish them. Explain them in a short paragraph and a bullet. Keep them out there and make sure people understand that this information is used to balance us against the other side. So, in other words, what you've got to do is you got to make people understand this is what we stand for, and then it gives you the opportunity to debate this based on, good information. What do you think?
Thanks for the call, Alan.
Well, I think
agree
that's
with
what you do here on this show every day. We try and get that information out in front of people.
Principle, policy, passion. That's the continuum. Establish the first principles that inform the policy choices that you would make, or that you would argue should be made. And then the passion is a data point or an anecdote that illustrates the rationale for the policy founded on the principle, and perhaps some of the projected outcomes based on the choice that you would make, or choices that have been made elsewhere that could be incorporated to whatever jurisdiction in which you live. That's the way to do it. It's connecting the dots. I think Alan's onto something with respect to Republicans making arguments, and the point is they don't. We become kind of regurgitators of fortune cookie talking points, but we don't connect dots for people. We're not good at it. Very few people are good at it. We don't provide textured arguments. We don't make the case. And it's not just repetition. It's also the substance. I've said this before. Meaning in life derive from the depth of the connections we make intellectually and in terms of other human beings. And the Republican Party should remember that in terms of how they communicate. George and Moni.
Hey, Dan. What is the point of voting for Mark Kirk if he's going to vote 75% of the time like Tammy Duckworth would anyway? Just having an R in front of your name doesn't cut it.
Yeah, but there's some chances that he might vote with among party lines. So
yeah, okay.
On a handful.
What about principals?
Yeah.
What about the guy is a substandard employee? It is time to cut him loose.
Thanks for the call, George.
So you're just going to leave that blank, or are you going to vote for?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about Mark Kirk. Just thinking, as I'm openly contemplating the hashtag Never Kirk campaign. So he's against school choice for poor black children in D.C. Got a problem with that.
Voted to fund Planned Parenthood.
He touts as a feature that he's pro-abort, for marriage redefinition, and for gun confiscation. He buys into the big government gambit climate change rap. I mean, that's 5 issues off the top that are 180 degrees from where I reside.
And isn't he, too, though, a never-Trumper? I mean, and also,
No.
too, he said he's not going to the Republican National Convention, which...
Yeah, but he's not been a never-Trumper. And, I mean, the hypocrisy of Mark Kirk adopting any kind of never position for a Republican. This is somebody who needs people who disagree with him on the handful of issues I just mentioned, and there are others to roll in if he wants to have a chance against Tammy Duckworth. He thinks he can win a 2-front war. He's going to be surprised in November. Jane in Burr Ridge.
Hi. Yeah, you sort of touched on this, Dan, but the problem, I think one of the huge problems is that we have a populace that is largely uneducated in economics. In other words, these, most of our people, and definitely our young people, because they've never had a paycheck, they don't understand, but they're voting, they don't understand that they're going to lose about 30 to 40% of their income before they even see their paycheck through taxes, through the socialism taxes, unemployment compensation, workman comp, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, a disability, all that stuff that the employer silently pays. And we've got to educate our people on taxes and economics before, and that's what you were saying, I think, kind of before, that we have to educate them, and they've got to understand those things so we can have this intelligent conversation you're talking about.
Thanks, Jane.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Also, too, nobody sees what deductions are taken out of your paychecks because it's all online. I mean, do you ever look online and see where your dollars are going?
Withholding is pernicious. Milton Friedman spent most of his life trying to make up for the fact that he helped architect withholding.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to withhold the forecast for you any longer. Cloudy out there. It's pretty dicey. There's been rain and drizzle on and off throughout this morning. Then thunderstorms in spots this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees. Tonight, the rain continues, a shower or thunderstorm likely. And then tomorrow, no more rain in the forecast, just cloudy skies, some sunshine, so that's good news, and a high near 70 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Tri-State northbound, it is just a mess from Cicero Avenue to 47th. Just north of 47th, the left lane is closed in each direction due to a major overnight truck wreck. And southbound, the delays are from the Cermak Toll to 47th. Edens, 40 minutes. Lycoke to Montrose, outbound 30. The Kennedy, 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound, an hour and 15 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 55 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour 10. The Ryan, 27 minutes. 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway, stop and go. Higgins to 53. From the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee. Veterans Memorial, really backed up now. 159th to the Reagan Tollway. And from Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because the lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and give them a call at 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear from Jim, who just completed a no-cost refinance with Townstone Financial.
I would recommend
Townstone to anybody. And I do. I always knew where we were. I knew the dates. I knew when I had to have information. There was no fire drills. The overall experience was, off the charts. I've not experienced, there's very few companies that I've encountered that really deliver that customer experience, and that's what sets you guys apart, hands down.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, it's just like me.
Getting to know all about you.
Doesn't sound like Bing Crosby.
Getting to like you. Getting to hold you like me.
I was the I in The King and I. I was.
Yeah?
Yeah, very exciting stuff.
Thanks for that reprisal. Talking Trump and Ryan and Never Trump and Always Trump and Never Hillary, other hashtags. Deborah and Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. We live in a soundbite society and instant gratification society, and people, including politicians, refuse to look long-term at the vision. The goal for me is vote for on the platform and prevent Hillary and the Democrats from getting in there and completely sealing our fate as far as the country goes. That's the goal for me. I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm going to vote for him.
All right. Thanks for the call, Deborah.
I mean, he is giving GOP members some heartburn. Donald Trump is, and same with economists, because he's flip-flopped on, minimum wage and then repaying our debt. Now he's saying he doesn't want to repay our debt in full. And he's, and then taxing the rich and the middle class. I mean, he has changed his mind 3 times. And we have a montage here. We don't have to play it, but it's
on the debt issue,
back and forth.
On the debt issue, he was on with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business yesterday.
Oh, wait, what did he say this time?
Well, he clarified his position.
So now they have it that Donald Trump wants to go out and he wants to renegotiate bonds, and he wants to default on bonds, and he wants to buy them back at a discount. Well, that's great for private business, but it's certainly not good for the United States government. And I never said that. All I said is that if interest rates go up, we'll have a chance to buy back bonds at a discount, which is standard. Okay. But certainly I'm not talking about renegotiating with creditors.
So he's not talking about a purposeful default. So he says, it'd be nice if he was a little bit more precise with language when it comes to really serious matters, so he wouldn't have to clarify and recast all the time. It seems to be a lingering problem. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Not only is that exactly what he said, that's what he does. That's what bankruptcy is in real estate, when he ends up with the building at the end. That's how he exists. He files bankruptcy on anyone stupid enough to invest with him. If it wasn't for the business he inherited, he would have nothing. Now, the other issue is, where does he differ from Hillary Clinton? And we're supposed to defeat the party-first Democrats by doing what? As I listen to the brilliant callers who want to lay out their resume, how are you going to defeat them? Oh, we're going to vote party first. So we're going to defeat them by doing the exact same thing they're doing. Einstein, that's not how you do it. You have integrity, and you show these people who claim to represent you that they mean nothing to you, and you will rip down every lie, every nonsense, every scheme from not just the chancellor of Trump University, which anyone has yet to claim up, that he stole money from young and old, all alike. But he's our guy today. Today he's got integrity. There is zero difference except an inseam on a pantsuit. That's the only difference between either one of them.
Thanks, Sean.
How do you really feel, Sean? But he didn't say moron this time.
That's
He normally slips in the M word.
Yeah, nice restraint. Larry in Elmhurst, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Mixing it up.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, I really respect your guys' views and opinions on all this, and I plan on voting for Trump, too. I'm kind of holding my nose. I was wondering, wouldn't it be nice if we had some sort of a confidence scale, like 1 to 10, to go along with our vote? The vote would still count as a full vote. There's nothing wrong with that, but we can also sort of indicate, on a scale of 1 to 10, sure, I vote for Trump, but I give him like a 3. I certainly don't want Hillary, but I'd like to I don't want, like Obama did, think he's got some huge mandate when really a lot of people weren't fully on board with him.
Yeah, there's no question. Thanks for the call, Larry. But here's what politicians do. Whoever wins claims a mandate.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool?
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Should the governor fund the schools or shut them down at 7:37?
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Cloudy skies at the moment. He winds out of the east at 13 miles an hour. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Developments this morning from the White House, where President Obama says he'll make an historic visit to Hiroshima, Japan, later this month. He will become the first American president to ever visit the site of the 1945 nuclear bombing. 1 person is dead, 3 hurt after a stabbing in Germany. The attack happening at a train station in suburban Munich. Bystanders saying the man yelled, Allah Akbar. ISIS right now is claiming some responsibility. The suspect is under arrest. House Speaker Paul Ryan says he will step down as chairman of the RNC, the Republican National Convention, if Donald Trump asks him to. But as Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly says this morning, the two may be able to come to an understanding this week.
Paul's been very good about making a confident America. I think he could work with Donald Trump very easily. Donald Trump is a guy who's worked with people all his life. That's who he is. He's a people person. He's not deep on policy, but he understands people and he understands how to get to an end.
In a recent interview with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Ryan says he also wants to help unify the GOP. Cleanup underway in parts of the central U.S. after deadly tornadoes tore through parts of Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska, where Taylor Millard reports this morning 2 were killed in Oklahoma.
Around 5 to 10 homes were destroyed in Garvin County. That's actually where one of the men was found dead in what was left of his home. Another man was killed in Johnston County, which is just 1 county over.
Politically this morning, West Virginia and Nebraska hold presidential primaries. We're watching developments in Baltimore this morning, where a pretrial hearing is scheduled today in the case of one of the 6 Baltimore police officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray. Cleanup continues after a deadly semi-tractor-trailer crash in the western suburbs on the Tri-State Tollway near Western Springs. And a federal judge could decide to let construction begin on filmmaker George Lucas's proposed art museum. The legal maneuvers and public statements preceding today's status hearing in a civil case aimed at halting the Lakeside Museum will complicate the federal judge John Dara's decision. Chicago sports. San Diego and the Cubs rained out. White Sox in Texas, it was game on, and it was Todd Frazier's game. 2 home runs, including a game-winning grand slam in the 12th in a White Sox 8-4 victory. The news service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. If you could get out of your timeshare safely and legitimately, would you? TimeshareExitTeam.com has a 100% guarantee. They'll get you out or get you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT, 844-321-EXIT, TimeshareExitTeam.com. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager isn't sold on Donald Trump as a conservative.
Nobody was founded except the United States on the doctrine of limited government. And I not only don't see that as a principle in Donald Trump's campaign, I think that the government will expand its power. He will tell companies where they can move and can't move, as an example. That's pretty powerful government. Barack Obama didn't even go that far.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I just have to tell you, I love Balance of Nature. I've been telling everybody about it. I can't believe how good I feel. Got my husband taking them now, and he's trying to get his mom to take them, because rarely do I take something where I feel a difference. If I'm just taking vitamin D or my multivitamin, I don't really feel a difference. But when I started taking these, I feel a difference. And I said, I can't tell you how good I feel.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
7:37. Guardian Security Services Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The tri-state is just a mess. Northbound from Cicero Avenue to 47th, an overnight truck crash has the left lane blocked. Southbound from the Cermak Toll to 47th, the left lane is closed as well. Southbound tri-state also slow now to the north from 132 to 60. Northbound Veterans Memorial stop and go from 159th to the Reagan Tollway. River Forest North Avenue is closed between 1st Avenue and Thatcher after a crash. Edens Expressway inbound. It is 50 minutes now from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 35. The Kennedy, 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 15 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour 10. Thorndale to downtown, and outbound the same. The Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour 10. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee for breakfast. If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Fear for LifeLock, their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to LifeLock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Cloudy, rainy, a little warmer today. A thunderstorm possible in the afternoon, high 67. Currently 51. Light rain showers. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. Time to eat the rich.
Morning.
Ken Griffin, Karen Lewis wants you in her tummy.
Get in my belly.
Public transport ground to a halt in Greece on Friday as unions launched a 48-hour general strike against government plans to overhaul pensions and increase taxes, as demanded by international creditors, because, maybe Greece is bankrupt. Hate to break it to John Cass. True.
Yeah.
7,000.
They just got done with Greek Easter. I mean, really.
Some 7,000 protesters kicked off the strike with a protest in central Athens. Because they don't want to, face economic reality. And this is even with a socialist as Tsipras as their president. This is how it ends in public sector union-centric societies, which is a nice transition from Greece to Illinois. Yesterday, outside the Citadel Corporate Center, this is Ken Griffin. He's one of the wealthiest men, if not the wealthiest man in Illinois, hedge fund manager, worth like $5 billion.
$5 billion or million? $5 billion? My Austin Powers, Michael Myers.
If you have to tell me what it is, how good of an impersonation do you think it is?
Excuse you.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get a hold of yourself.
So our friend from Fox Business Channel, Jeff Flock, was out there reporting on the protests.
A particular target here, as you can see, they're saying if we don't get it, shut it down.
If we don't get it, shut it down, said 100 protesters outside of Ken Griffin's offices there. And they what they want, these are more...
What do they want? I mean, shut it down?
I'll tell you what they want.
What's the it that they want shut down, Dan?
They want to eat the rich. And that's what's for dinner. And here's specifically what they want. By the way, Moral Mondays. That's what they're calling these protests, these rolling protests, Moral Mondays. Interesting, something to note for center-right types, Republicans, afraid of speaking in the vernacular of values. Left doesn't have any problem doing that. Moral Mondays, what they're doing is morally correct, is what they're suggesting. Chick-fil-A doesn't represent Chicago values. Why do you think the left talks in that parlance? All these scaredy cat bedwetters we have in the Republican Party. But here's the revenue recovery package that is desired by the if we don't get it, shut it down crowd. Revival of the city's corporate head tax, higher fuel taxes, a shift in the $1 billion worth of bonds that were proposed to be sold for the Lucas Museum to schools, a tax on rideshare services such as Uber and Lyft, a hike in the city's hotel tax, the reinstatement of a pre-1995 property tax levy dedicated to the Teachers Fund, a bailout of Chicago by Springfield, graduated state income tax, perhaps a city income tax, to layer on that, and LaSalle Street tax on financial transactions. And here's the thing that's a bit problematic for the, if we don't get it, shut it down, professional agitators. If you liquidated Ken Griffin, vaporized him, all of his holdings, $5 billion worth, round numbers, that wouldn't even pay our back due state bills. It would cover about half of them at present. And what is the proposed spending in Springfield? What's the disposition of the Chicago Democrat legislative leaders, the supermajoritarians, Madigan and Cullerton, to spend more than we've ever spent? Liquidating Ken Griffin would get you to pay down half of the overdue state bills right now, just half, in addition to the fact that Illinois has $211 billion in debt and $30 billion in assets and north of $100 billion in unfunded pension liabilities and north of $40 billion in bond debt. I could go on, but I think you get the point that you just can't make the math work no matter how much you want to extract from, those that are doing well. Let's say even go like over $200,000. You just can't get there from here no matter what you do. But what those people can do is get somewhere else. And that's what they've been doing. Again, reminder, last year, Paris, Rome, Chicago, third international cities to see the largest exodus of millionaires. So you think people are just going to sit here and take it? Well, they do, because they don't understand economics. They don't really care about economics. They're just navel-gazing and kind of in love with their own sense of entitlement.
So the proposal that CPS has right now would bump their salaries 8.75%, right, over the next 4 years. That's generous.
Yeah, but they want to increase the pension payment. Oh, not increase, but they want to make the teachers
pay for it themselves.
Pick up the full pension contribution of 9% of their salary, which right now they only pick up 2 percentage points of the 9 percentage points. Yeah, so the whole thing is quite interesting. And against this backdrop, you have Governor Rauner launching yesterday a kind of a tour around the schools, suggesting that and asking for the General Assembly to send him a clean education funding bill for K through 12 education so that the schools open on time. And Rauner was at LT Lyons Township, and he had this to say.
We have got to stop treating our schools like political footballs. We need to make schools our top priority. And no matter what else happens in the state budget, our schools should get more money and they should open on time.
Schools should get more money and they should open on time. I understand what the governor is attempting to do there, but I disagree with it. Why should the schools get more money? Based on what? Based on performance? I mean, do you agree with that? 312-642-5600. The schools should get more money. Isn't that what we've been doing with K through 12 education for decades? And the results are what? So why should the schools get more money necessarily?
If a school district performs well, their students test high, shouldn't they be rewarded with more funds? Like a merit-based system?
Why do you need more money? I'd like to hear specifics. I mean, if somebody comes to you and says, I'd like to borrow money, do you say, what are you going to use it for? You just say, oh, sure, here's a blank check.
No, you say, what are you going to use it for?
Yeah, when am I going to get it back? What's my return on investment, either monetary or psychic? Yeah. I'm not on board with that. And here's the other thing. I know the governor is trying to leverage Madigan and Cullerton for the budget talks by getting preemptive about school funding. So it's not a bad political move, although I don't really think it leverages them very much. I mean, this is the same place we were last year. He vetoes the budget, signs the portion of funding that was dedicated to the schools, so their general state aid, so they can open on time. And where are we, nearly a year later in the same place? I think at some point you have to precipitate the fight if you want to achieve the structural reform that Bruce Rauner ran on and I believe wants to achieve. But you're not going to do it by continuing to extend the status quo and hoping that Madigan and Cullerton all have an epiphany and decide all of a sudden to act in the interests of the state rather than in their very narrow political interests in terms of maintaining their supermajorities and playing the blame shifting game they've both been playing for 40 years. I just think it's a tactical mistake, and I don't think it advances the flag in the direction that it needs to be advanced. It's my view on it. I think it's time to draw some lines and pick some fights and say we're going to hash this out and we're going to bring the Illinois electorate along and we're going to have a very public discussion about exactly what we're spending, what we're getting in return for it, and what we are or are not going to do based on completely rethinking how we do K through 12 education for starters. Because one of the things Rauner said is right, is the most important thing the state does or doesn't do, as the case may be. William in the Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, William.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I love how everybody thinks that you could throw money at a problem and it goes away, especially when it comes to education. Million, billion, it's not going to solve the grassroots or the bottom-based problem. The number one determinant whether or not a child is successful in school is whether or not somebody cares at the end of the day. And there's no amount of money that's going to change that. Granted, I see that the funding into some sort of vocational program might, give an alternate to the burden of schools, because some people just shouldn't go to school.
Thanks for the call, William. Okay.
Homeschooled.
Bill in Minooka.
Hi. I keep hearing the term schools need more money. What do they mean by more money? Is it for teachers' pay, pension, or building improvements? What is it? It's always more money. And the reason I say that is because I just got my tax bill and my taxes went up, but the majority of it is for the schools.
Right.
Where everybody else, the road commissioner, township, and all that, fire department, they're all holding their costs down, but the schools keep going up. I just was wondering, what do they need more money? Nobody says anything.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Yeah, it's difficult to pin them down. We try with Teachers Union. I mean, at least Jesse Sharkey, the VP of CTU, Chicago Teachers Union, says, I need about $1 billion more. What he wants to use it for, wraparound services and other things. But, I mean, ultimately, what so many of these school systems have become, as I've said before, is a third-party administrator to confer salary and benefits for the adults. This you're not getting 75% of the spend in classrooms. It's the salaries and benefits for the adults. Now, I know that's always going to be a cost driver in the system, even in great systems. But we're piling on more money in real terms, adjusted for inflation. What are we getting back in terms of output? That, to me, seems the question that we don't get sufficient answers to. And frankly, some of the answers, really bad, like 2/3 of kids in fourth grade, K through 12 statewide, not reading or doing math at the fourth grade level, same in eighth grade. That's a big problem. George in Will County.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking the call. Dan, you're right. And this actually goes back towards your principal policy and I forget your last name.
Passion, yes.
Passion. Yeah, oh, there it is. How can we actually present these arguments passionately if we don't even have enough people down in the General Assembly to even represent or to even present? We're trying to negotiate with Democrats who we know flat out do not want to. So the only way to actually bring forth good proposals, good policy, is to actually have people to take the fight to Springfield. We're literally shooting ourselves in our own foot by increasing the salaries of Democrat voters who are turning around and taking their money and giving it to our opponents in these races.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the call, George. I agree with that. And we have a governor, and he's got a bully pulpit. And we have legislative leaders, or super minority leaders, but they have pulpits too. People can start chatting up these matters. Ralph and Rantoul.
Good morning. Karen Lewis, she's always quick with the witty chants out there. I can just see it on the signs. We dumb, we lazy, give me your money or we go crazy. You know, this is yet another reason why the voters just don't get it. When they have government employees in unions, the voters never really present at the bargaining table, and this is why you get these ridiculous endless ratcheting up of salaries, benefits, and all the other unaffordable items that Illinois is stuck with.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Cloudy skies, drizzle on and off throughout the day, then a thunderstorm this afternoon in spots, a high of 67. Tonight, the shower and thunderstorms continue. And tomorrow, though, we finally get a break. Clouds, some sun, pleasant, a high of 70 degrees. How's the 294 near 47th Street doing? Here's Jim Telemonte with the answer.
Thanks, Amy. It's absolutely awful and getting worse. Northbound, it's about a 16-mile backup. The delays are from Kedzie to 47th, where there's a left, just north of 47th. There's a left lane blocked in each direction. Southbound, also very slow from the Cermak Toll Plaza to 47th. In River Forest, North Avenue remains closed between First Avenue and Thatcher, where an earlier crash drew 6 ambulances. Eden's 50 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 45. The Kennedy, an hour and 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour 15. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes either way between Thorndale and downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour 10. The Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Delays on the eastbound Adams Tollway from 25 to 53, then from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee. The Reagan Tollway slow from 31 to 355, and from the Myers Toll to the Tri-State and the Veterans Memorial, really messy as well. 159th to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290, southbound 53, jammed Dundee to Kirchhoff. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Kathy Hamilton, former chairman of the College of DuPage. I hope you will join me at the Walk for Dyslexia on Saturday, May 14th at 9 a.m. in Bloomingdale to help kids overcome dyslexia. Dyslexia is a reading and cognition condition that affects millions. This walk supports the Children's Dyslexia Center of Metropolitan Chicago, one of the best training centers in the country. It gives kids the tools they need to achieve all of their potential. And because it's supported by folks like us, all treatment is free. This walk is a great time for everyone. You can bring your family, start a team, or just take the walk and make a donation. It's easy, it's fun, and 100% of your gift goes directly to helping kids. There's still time to sign up at walkfordyslexia.org. That's walkfordyslexia.org. I'll be looking for you May 14th.
If you could quickly and painlessly clear your psoriasis or vitiligo, would you?
No matter how big the psoriasis is, no matter how small the psoriasis, we can help you.
Ashley is a clinical specialist for X-Track, the amazing in-office treatment for psoriasis and vitiligo that's clinically proven to show immediate results with up to 95% clearance.
What my patients love most about the X-Track treatments is it's safe, it's FDA cleared, and they're seeing results very quickly.
End the embarrassing, painful patches and discoloration with X-Track. There's no medications, no topical ointments, and virtually no side effects. X-Track uses light to transform your skin and change your life. It's covered by all major insurances and Medicare, and will help you find a doctor close by.
I love what I do. I love coming in every day and making a difference in patients' lives. It's amazing.
Call now to live X-Track Clear. Call 800-978-3554. That's 800-978-3554. 800-978-3554, or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply.
Running a business is tough these days. From a president who claimed it,
You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
to the mountains and mountains of taxes and regulations here in Illinois. But many companies, big and small, have persevered, serving their customers and communities. If that's you and your business, then AM 560 The Answer wants to celebrate your success and tell your story. It's the AM 560 Business Tour 2016, presented by Signature Bank. This spring, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses in Illinois with success stories of overcoming the odds and thriving in spite of the challenging business environment. If your company fits this description, then we want to know about it so we can consider broadcasting from your location. Tell us your story. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business. Sponsored in part by Flex Execs Management Solutions. And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
When philosopher and novelist Ayn Rand was interviewed on the Johnny Carson show in 1967, Carson asked if she believed in God. She said simply, "No, I do not." Ayn Rand rejected religion and laid out a code of morality based on reason, not faith. When asked to describe her philosophy, she said, quote, "I am the creator of a new code of morality, which so far has been believed impossible. A morality not based on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason. A morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary." Find out more about Ayn Rand's revolutionary philosophy at ariradio.com. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm your Ron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brooks Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Now that spring has arrived, it's likely you're looking forward to the warmer weather. But if you're a business owner, facilities manager, or maintenance engineer, you risk the same potential problem every year. A complete system failure. In fact, up to half of all commercial air conditioning units fail upon startup each season due to the lack of regular maintenance and repair. Let the professionals at Air Comfort make a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system before there's a problem. A poorly operating air conditioning system results in uneven temperatures and humidity problems, leading to unhealthy mold and mildew growth. Don't compromise your business's overall air quality. Schedule today with Air Comfort. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Even if you're under contract with another provider, let Air Comfort provide your second opinion. After all, there's a reason why hundreds of businesses have trusted Air Comfort with their mechanical maintenance for more than 80 years. That's Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
An update on that Islamic terrorist attack at a train station outside of Munich and an assessment of the new mayor of London at 8:08.
And later, price gouging and shaming when it comes to declawing your cat. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a deadly semi-tractor-trailer crash in Western Springs. The investigation continues. Governor Rauner making progress on an education funding bill. WIND, Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Washington and Japan just confirming that President Obama will visit Hiroshima. Fox Radio's John Decker is live at the White House.
In the first visit by a sitting president, President Obama will make an historic visit to Hiroshima during a trip to Vietnam and Japan later this month. The president will visit Hiroshima with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. White House advisor Ben Rhodes said this is the appropriate moment for the president to visit the city, best known as the first city in history to be targeted by a nuclear weapon. An estimated 80,000 people were killed when an atomic bomb was dropped on the city in August 1945 near the end of World War II. Lisa?
Thanks, John. It's primary day for 2 more states, including West Virginia, where Hillary Clinton's been under fire for comments about the coal industry.
Normally, I'd just be a straight Democrat, but with Trump, he has me thinking.
He's a retired GM worker worried about the economy. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland with more live.
Lisa, polls heading into today's Democratic contest in West Virginia favored Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton, who upset coal miners when she suggested the coal industry was going out of business. Earlier, Clinton tried to walk back those comments.
If I'm fortunate enough to be president, I'm going to be as focused to help West Virginia as I can.
Republicans are also going to the polls in West Virginia and in Nebraska, even though Donald Trump is already the presumptive GOP nominee. Lisa.
Rachel, Facebook is denying allegations that conservative stories have been suppressed by contractors in the trending section. A Facebook official says they have rigorous guidelines to ensure consistency and neutrality. Tornadoes blamed for at least 2 deaths in Oklahoma.
I had a hole in the door. But you can feel that whole house shaking and rumbling.
He's in hard-hit Johnson County. Parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, and Arkansas also getting hit by severe weather that's now taking aim at the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Light rain showers across the area. We have 50 degrees. Winds east at 13 at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A person dead following a semi-tractor trailer crash. It happened in the western suburbs on the Tri-State Tollway when a vehicle slammed into the median wall in Western Springs. Lanes on that toll road in both directions have been closed as crews continue to clear the scene. An investigation underway after a man was found dead on the Red Line. Victim discovered early this morning inside a train car near the 63rd Street station. Service temporarily halted but has since resumed. A federal judge could decide to let construction begin on filmmaker George Lucas's proposed art museum in Chicago, but legal maneuvering and public statements preceding today's status hearing on the civil case aimed at halting the Lakeside Museum complex could complicate Judge John Dara's decision. Governor Rauner continues his push on a bill that would fund K-12 education. The governor says priority right now should be a clean education bill, making sure schools can operate during the upcoming year. Lawmakers introduced legislation in February that would provide educational funding. Rauner hopes to have something done before the end of the month, before the legislature adjourns. White Sox slammed Texas 8-4 thanks to a Todd Frazier bases-clearing grand slam in the 12th, making a winner of the White Sox last night. Frazier had a career-high 6 RBI. San Diego and the Cubs were postponed because of rain. The news service of GoDaddy. Running your own business, running you ragged? GoDaddy can help. with memorable domains, website design, online marketing tools, and 24/7 expert advice. You can do it. Correction, you can kill it with GoDaddy. Go you, GoDaddy. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, there's a sign small businesses may be more encouraged about the economy. The National Federation of Independent Business says its Business Optimism Index increased in April. It is the first time in 3 months the reading has been positive. Japan Display, which makes panels for the iPhone and iPad, says it will lose money in its just-ended fiscal year because of slower sales of Apple devices. The solar company chaired by Tesla's Elon Musk lost money at the start of the year. Solar City blames rising expenses. Qatar Airways is delaying the launch of the world's longest direct flight. That flight will eventually fly from Doha to Auckland, New Zealand. Reuters says it's being delayed by late delivery of an Airbus A350. The flight will take 17 and a half hours, and it was supposed to start on December 3rd. The Dow dropped 34 Monday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Human trafficking has become the world's fastest growing crime, with over 27 million people enslaved, 2 million of them underage. The Abolitionist takes viewers behind the scenes as former CIA and Homeland Security agent Tim Ballard and his team of highly trained operatives risk their own lives to free innocent young victims from captivity. Tim Ballard believes God has called him to this work. Don't miss The Abolitionist, a one-day theater event, Monday, May 16th. Get your tickets today at fathomevents.com. It's rated PG-13.
Special announcement. The Big Home Remodeling Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the DuPage County Fairgrounds, May 21st and 22nd. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this two-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, state-of-the-art generator, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Not only will you get a free gift at the door, but come to the show between 10 a.m. and noon on Saturday, May 21st for a chance to win a key that could start a brand new Harley-Davidson. Remember, the DuPage County Home Remodeling Expo, May 21st and 22nd at the Fairgrounds in Wheaton. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
On AM 560, The Answer, we talk. So much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Here's an idea. Instead of waiting for your boss to give you a raise, give yourself one by refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans. You could add hundreds of dollars each month to your bottom line, like a boss. Call 800-QUICKEN today or visit us online at QuickenLoans.com. A Quicken Loans refinance gives you the financial power to enhance your life and pursue your passion. Our passion is client service. Here's the proof. For 6 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN and buy in. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Quicken Loans. Home buy, refi, power. Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
It's 8:08 in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center for us this morning. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Tri-State has southbound delays from 132 to 176, then big delays from the Eisenhower to 47th, where the left lane has reopened after an overnight truck crash. But northbound, it is a complete mess from Kedzie up to 47th, more than 15 miles worth of backups, and that left lane is still blocked northbound for cleanup and investigation. Eastbound Adams Tollway, stop and go Bartlett Road to 53, and from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee, Reagan Tollway from 31 to 355, and the Veterans Memorial from 159th most of the way to 290. Eden's 45 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, up at an hour 10. The Ike, an hour 10 either way between Thorndale and downtown. The Stevenson is an hour and 15 minutes either way between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. And the Ryan, 35 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Periods of rain and a thunderstorm for today with a high 67, then a shower or a thunderstorm in the area tonight with a low 54. Clouds and sun tomorrow with a high 72. Tomorrow night becoming cloudy with occasional late-night rain and a thunderstorm with a low 57. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
51 light rain showers at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Guardian Security Services. If you're unhappy with your security guard, contact Guardian Security Services at 708-385-3300.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
She was an unbelievably nasty, mean enabler, and what she did to a lot of those women is disgraceful. So put that in her bonnet and let's see what happens.
I'm going to let him run his campaign however he chooses. I'm going to run my campaign, which is about a positive vision for our country.
He's the nominee. I'll do whatever he wants with respect to the convention. The point is, we just need to get to know each other.
No child should be forced into an intimate setting in a school, like a restroom or a locker room, with a child of the opposite sex.
We believe a court, rather than a federal agency, should tell our state, our nation, and employers across the country what the law requires.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, Amy, if Peyton and Eli plan on going to law school, then they shouldn't go because they should do something productive with their lives. Don't be me, Peyton and Eli. Don't waste your time and money at law school. But if they do decide to go, like we've eliminated so many colleges in America.
I ran out of paper, really.
Yeah, we're basically down to like 3 or 4 colleges they are allowed to attend. And in terms of postgraduate work, getting a Juris Doctorate. It's not going to be at Oxford. I'm sorry to report, and the reason is
this is sick. I don't understand this.
Oxford's legal program. Oxford, one of the most highly regarded institutions of higher learning in the world, or at least it used to be. So the new practice for the school's criminal law classes to now provide trigger warnings before professors tackle sensitive subjects like homicide and sex crimes. If students find the subject too offensive, then they'll be allowed to skip the classes altogether.
Okay, well, how can you be a criminal defense attorney, let's just say, for example, and have skipped out on subject matters such as homicide and sex crimes? That's the whole base of your business.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm just going to do armed robbery. Okay, that's great.
I don't think I'd
Good luck with
want
that.
to retain anybody who didn't have the intestinal fortitude to take a criminal law class to be my attorney in any context, whether you're a criminal defense attorney or a prosecutor or not.
But why are we coddling these, as they say, fragile little angels?
Well, one Oxford law professor apparently still has her head squared on correctly, Laura Hoyano. She told the Daily Mail, if you're going to study law, you have to deal with things that are difficult. Well, of course, those are fighting words.
Yeah, but also if you're going to live in this world, you have to deal with things that are difficult.
We all can.
They might not be nice, but you have to learn how to accept it, or not accept it, but just get along with it.
And when we try and live in a bubble, there are people who want to puncture the bubble. And this much more serious story, the story out of Germany this morning, a train station about 20 miles east of Munich, an individual stabbed 4 people, killing one of them. He is in custody, according to witnesses, not according to the police, because they're politically correct, addled centurions for the welfare state as well. But according to witnesses, the attacker shouted Allahu Akbar.
Which means, what, praise God?
God
right?
is great.
God is great.
And the suspect also yelled, "You infidels." God, what is he trying to get across, I wonder? So clearly, according to witnesses, this was a Islamic-related terrorist attack, yet another one.
Yeah, he stabbed one man in the train, another man on the platform, and then went after 2 cyclists who were outside.
And this comes on the backdrop of, and I'm not saying, well, this comes on the backdrop of the first Muslim mayor of an international Western city, London, Khan. Not that Khan. Suggesting, I'm not comparing the two, I'm just saying, but he suggested something during the campaign prior to his election that I think is terribly problematic. I wonder how Brits are reacting, even though they elected him, that moderate Muslims were Uncle Toms. It is such a breathtaking statement, it's difficult to know where to begin, so we need to rope in an expert here, and he is our friend, Daniel Hannan, member of the European Parliament representing Southeast England. Runnymede, Amy, which, as you know, is where the Magna Carta was signed in 1215.
That's right, yes.
Daniel Hannan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
So what about Mayor Khan's election and some of the just incredible things that he said prior to his electoral
Well, how about
victory?
trying to wrap all these stories together?
Yes.
So you've got the safe space story, and yet we don't have safe spaces, evidently, in German cities or on public transport because we're that obsessed with not upsetting these fragile, mollycoddled snowflake kids, but we're averting our eyes from the really dangerous things that are happening in places which you would expect to be literally safe in the sense of not being assaulted in them, right? But although the comment you just quoted was incredibly stupid, I think I have to try and be fair-minded to a political opponent. He expressed himself very badly. He apologized, I think, very sincerely. And frankly, which of us at one time or another in our lives has not phrased something catastrophically clumsily?
Yeah, but don't you think that that's how he really feels? I mean, how can you say something like that and then try and take it back? What was his apology like?
You've got to judge people in the round, and I don't think that there is anything in Sadiq Khan's career that suggests that he is any kind of friend of fundamentalism. The most you could accuse him of is sometimes being a bit too quick to take umbrage and retreat into kind of victim status. But the attempts to make out that he had the wrong friends and so on, it didn't ring true. I wish he hadn't won because the Conservative candidate was a million times better than he was and would have made a great mayor. But the idea that he's someone who kind of harbors a sympathy for a more fundamentalist vision, it just doesn't stack up with what the guy has spent his whole life arguing for.
Okay, well, that's an encouraging note on that score. What about this story, Daniel? London's Red Buses, this Islamic charity, doing a campaign, Glory to Allah, on London buses, ostensibly to raise money for Ramadan aid to Syria. Is that creating controversy in England?
Not much. Not much. I had a friend who was a Syrian Christian, and he said, we all say that. That's just the Arabic way of saying glory be to God, He said, we Christians say it in Syria. It's how you say it. I suppose what I'm saying, Dan, is, you opened with a really horrendous story, this stabbing on the train. And it is one of a series of truly horrific things that have happened recently in Europe. We've had the Brussels attacks. We've had the Paris attacks.
Cologne.
Cologne, and going back to the London tube bomb 12 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Something that when it started was presumed to be exceptional is now almost becoming part of the fabric of life. And this is something that we're going to need to adjust to, and we're going to need to respond to in terms of security, in terms of ideology, in terms of isolating, identifying, and dealing with the perpetrators. And I think if we're going to do that, we've got to be focused on the source of the problem. And I just don't buy that there is a kind of continuum between adverts on the side of London buses or a secular left-of-centre Muslim being elected mayor of London and the kinds of nihilistic, violent people that we're dealing with and that we increasingly need to be worried about. You've got to get the diagnosis right before you start prescribing the cure. And we're dealing here with a number of, proportionately a small number, but nonetheless in absolute terms a large enough number that we all need to worry, of alienated young men who have been driven to such hatred of their countries of birth that they're prepared to go to Syria to fight against us or to blow themselves up, murdering their fellow citizens.
Well,
and that's something that we really do need to focus on.
Well, but so let's talk about sources then. What about the particular strain of multiculturalism that has spread across Europe over the last several generations, such that you have these no-go zones in major European cities like Paris or Brussels? Isn't that cultural, cultural mores, isn't that kind of going to some of the sourcing?
Yeah, now you're talking. Absolutely, that's a huge issue. And, so the Paris bombers came from a part of Brussels that is very close to where I work in the European Parliament, this rather run-down socialist area of town called Molenbeek. It's a place where if you grow up as a child of Moroccan immigrants, you don't feel really that you belong to anything. Belgium is a country that's kind of gradually separating into two parts. There's a Dutch-speaking part, there's a French-speaking part. The Belgian state is weak and despised, and both of the linguistic communities are kind of groping back towards older patriotisms. Where does that leave you if you're the child of Moroccan immigrants? You're not Flemish, you're not Walloon. What is there for you to be part of? Every interaction you've had with the Belgian state has taught you to despise it because the ruling ideology of the Belgian state is the multiculti nonsense that you were just talking about, right? They ask to be despised. If they teach you any of their history at all, it's all about racism and exploitation. So is it any wonder that there are some of these boys growing up looking for something more assertive, something more self-confident? And whatever else we say about the monsters of Islamic State, they're not lacking in self-confidence. And I'm afraid that because we've created this vacuum, because we haven't made it, it's kind of considered almost distasteful to be patriotic in Western Europe, that creates a vacuum, and some people fill it by looking for these ugly, old, and dangerous forms of extremism.
That voice belongs to Daniel Hanna. He's a member of the European Parliament. Quickly, Donald Trump, what do all of you think of his rise, and that it's possible he could be our next president?
I wouldn't have thought it was possible, but hey, I didn't think it was possible that he would be the Republican nominee. I have to say, I'm really depressed, guys. 320 million American citizens, and some of them people of immense intelligence and patriotism and energy, and the best you can offer the electorate is Hillary and Donald Trump. Come on, guys, we expect better.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint you there.
Yeah. It'll sink in eventually.
I want to ask you about Brexit, because President Obama was over there chiding Britain about the possibility of leaving the EU. You've had David Cameron make somewhat apocalyptic statements about what could happen if Britain leaves the EU. You wrote a book just a few years ago, A Doomed Marriage, Britain and Europe. What's your posture on Brexit and the impact of whether England stays or they go?
I'm in favour of Brexit. It will mean putting myself out of work because I'm a member of the European Parliament, and when we become an independent country again, there will be no more British members of the European Parliament. But I'm confident of finding work in the boom that will come to us when we've recovered our independence. It's worth noting that you're right that Barack Obama and a number of other kind of State Department grandees have been telling us to stick with what we've got. And I can't help but think that they are recommending that we do something that America would never consider doing, even under Obama. If the U.S. accepted that the Organization of American States had supranational power, If they accepted that there was going to be a Pan-American parliament in, let's say, Havana, that would have the power to strike down acts of Congress, and let's throw in a Pan-American central bank in, I don't know, Buenos Aires, which is administering a Pan-American peso as your currency. If you were prepared to accept those things, then you'd be in a position to tell us to do the same thing. But when Barack Obama came and said, we're recommending that you do this, it actually, I tell you what, it really bombed. There were 4 opinion polls taken in the week after he made his statement, and every single one of them showed a swing to leave. So his intervention backfired spectacularly. It actually made people kind of bristle and think, hang on, you're telling us to do something that you wouldn't do in a million years.
And so what do you predict the vote will be?
At the moment, the polls are on a knife edge. It's difficult to win against the status quo, and that's always true in every country, in every referendum. People who are undecided at the last minute tend to break for the anti-change option. On the other hand, the European project at the moment just looks like it's going nowhere. It looks like a failing project, and I think most people have a sense that we could do better as a global country, as an independent country, not least as a country that recovers its older alliances and friendships with our kindred English-speaking peoples around the world.
He is Daniel Hannan. He's a member of the European Parliament for now, representing Southeast England. He's also the author of numerous books that are worth reading, really good stuff. Inventing Freedom, How We Invented Freedom and Why It Matters, Why America Must Not Follow Europe, The New Road to Serfdom. You should read Daniel Hannan. Daniel Hannan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks. And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, cloudy, rain on and off throughout the day, and then a thunderstorm by this afternoon, a thunderstorm tonight or a shower. And then finally, we'll get a break here. We should have clouds tomorrow and some sunshine. Remember that? Remember that big thing in the sky, that orange globe? We'll be out tomorrow, and we'll have a high of 70 degrees. Here's Jim Telemonte. Any relief on northbound 294?
Not at all, Amy. It is still a complete mess. From Kedzie to 47th, where the left lane remains closed after an overnight truck crash. Southbound still 132 to 176, and then it's still jammed from the Eisenhower to 47th. All lanes have reopened southbound. Eden's 45 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 50. The Kennedy is an hour and 20 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 65 minutes. The Ike, an hour 10 either way between Thorndale and downtown. Stevenson, an hour 10 either way between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Other expressways and tollways are also heavy. I'm Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Here's some great news. Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates can help you with your retirement game plan. You know Jack, or you should. Jack is the president and founder of Tabota & Associates. He's been helping folks just like you retire successfully for 3 decades. Jack has the insight, information, strategies, and experience you can use to build wealth and keep it. Live good. Retire well with Jack Tabota of Tabota & Associates. 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955.
You know, I've always been afraid we don't get enough, and that's why I feel so secure in taking Balance of Nature. But as long as I can get those fruits and vegetables, that's what, to me, is very important.
Well, you know, I heard all the advertisements on the radios where I first heard about this, and of course, I thought, well, you know, I need to order that because I don't get my fruits and vegetables like I should. I eat some, but not all. So I started taking the product, and I've taken it religiously now for, I guess, 3 months, going on 3 months now. And I told my wife I can definitely tell a difference. So it's a good product.
Make the change today. No more synthetics, no more extracts. Today is your chance to get it right. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Are you or someone you know facing foreclosure?
Losing the family home? Well, you'd be not alone, so please listen to this. There are a lot of issues in a foreclosure, legal issues, factual issues. Dozens so far, and more coming to light every day. You see, people, we are in the aftermath of what will go down in history as the greatest financial crime in history, from which a lot of people profited immensely. And these people did not always do things entirely legally. That is a foregone conclusion. I'm Lou Bridges. I put together a law firm dedicated to foreclosure defense and to avoiding foreclosure by working with the banks, based on a thorough examination and analysis of all the potential issues and questions. And we have surrounded ourselves with people equally committed to this pursuit of justice.
Call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231. Or visit FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. That's FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. Get real answers from a real foreclosure defense firm and discover the legal tools at your disposal.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
AM 560, The Answer.
I got a lawyer joke from a criminal defense attorney friend of mine, Matt Hickey.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about Oxford and the students don't have to take criminal law if they find it too offensive.
Yeah, well, certain classes, if it's about homicide or sex crimes.
What do you call a lawyer who didn't take criminal law?
What?
A judge.
Oh,
boy. All right, coming up, Amy Jacobson is going to mutilate her cat. We're going to try and stop her at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, rain 53 degrees and presidential primary day in West Virginia and Nebraska. Democrats and Republicans vote in West Virginia, Nebraska, a GOP contest only. The president will make what some are calling a historic visit to Hiroshima, Japan later this month. President Obama becoming the first American president ever to visit the site where the first atomic bomb was dropped in 1945. White House says that trip will happen on May 27. The U.S. is continuing to counter what it views as Beijing's increased aggressiveness in the South China Sea. Senior military officials just told CNN the Navy has sent a guided missile destroyer within 12 miles of a man-made Chinese island today, the William P. Lawrence, passed near Fiery Cross Reef without incident. Storm system that spawned deadly tornadoes moving east into the Ohio River Valley. Tornadoes slammed parts of Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska yesterday.
It's a cleanup effort. Our county crews are opening up the roads, cleaning up the roads. Our utility companies are trying to get power restored back to the customers. And the cleanup efforts ought to go fairly fast, so rebuilding's going to take a while.
2 were killed in the Sooner State after twisters touched down in Katy and Johnston County. A person is dead following a semi-tractor trailer crash in the western suburbs. That truck was traveling on the Tri-State Tollway early this morning when it slammed a median wall near Western Springs. Prosecutors in Wisconsin have charged a man with the killing of a suburban woman in a drive-by shooting, with also the death of his neighbor hours earlier in the day. Milwaukee prosecutors have filed 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide against Zachary Hayes of West Allis in the death of Gabriel Sanchez. Prosecutors in Sauk County have charged Zachary Hayes last week in the death of Tracy Chinowski in a drive-by shooting on I-90-94. Governor Bruce Rauner says he and other Republicans have bipartisan groups of lawmakers working on progress and initiatives that the governor says are essential to a deal on a long-delayed state budget. Even some Democrats are acknowledging general progress and positive discussions in a process being driven by the governor. White Sox beat Texas in 12 innings last night, 8-4, thanks to 2 home runs from Todd Frazier, including a grand slam. San Diego and the Cubs wiped out because of rain. The news, a service of Staples. Staples has new lower prices on ink and toner and an in-stock guarantee to ensure you always get what you need. In-stock guarantee applies to in-store selection only. Out-of-stock ink and toner will be ordered from in-stock kiosk with a $10 discount in the store plus free shipping. Limit 1 cartridge per customer. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's time for the GOP to come together.
You know the saying, pride goeth before the fall. So now it's time for people to man up, lose your pride, eat your crow, and unify for the good of the United States of America. Now it's time for the real fight to begin.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Special announcement. The Big Home Remodeling Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the DuPage County Fairgrounds, May 21st and 22nd. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this 2-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, state-of-the-art generator, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Not only will you get a free gift at the door, but come to the show between 10 a.m. and noon on Saturday, May 21st for a chance to win a key that could start a brand new Harley-Davidson. Remember, the DuPage County Home Remodeling Expo, May 21st and 22nd at the Fairgrounds in Wheaton. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
Psoriasis and vitiligo are serious diseases. You've tried everything and have been disappointed. Now there's X-Track, a breakthrough treatment that provides long-lasting, safe relief. X-Track is FDA cleared for the treatment of psoriasis and vitiligo and is endorsed by thousands of dermatologists and hospitals because it works. Clinical studies show immediate results with up to 95% clearance. The in-office visits are fast, painless, with virtually no side effects. With thousands of providers treating patients all over the country, X-Track is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare. We'll help you find a doctor close by, and there is no cost to you until you see results. Get your life back. Live free. Live X-Track clear.
For your no-cost treatment, call now 800-972-3143. That's 800-972-3143. 800-972-3143 or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply, results may vary.
8:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Tri-State Tollway just north of 47th, all lanes have reopened in both directions after an overnight wreck involving that truck into the center barriers. Still have heavy delays. Northbound from Kedzie to 47th, southbound from the Eisenhower to 47th. It should now start improving, though. Also, the southbound Tri-State has delays to the north from 132 to 176. Eden's 45 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 50. The Kennedy, an hour and 20 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 42 minutes from Montrose and 28 in the Express. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 13 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour 10. Stevenson, an hour 10 either way between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway, stop and go. Bartlett Road to 53. Reagan Tollway from 31 to 355. Veterans Memorial from 159th most of the way to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. A cloudy day ahead, a little warmer, rain and drizzle in the morning, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm because of those warmer conditions. High 67. 51 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy Jacobson's
cat stories.
Oh, don't make it worse.
What?
All right, so I have 2 cats.
One's in your hair right now.
Thank you. Crazy, the rat killer, and then Kit Kat. Kit Kat's the older one. Kit Kat's gotten a little ornery over the years. Kind of, I don't know, maybe it's because we have a new dog, and she's mean. She jumps and lunges at people. She's destroyed 3 of my chairs. Now she's onto my great-grandma's fainting couch, which I'm not going to tolerate. So I've been looking around, trying.
I made a fainting couch.
Did you have a fainting couch?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not sure I know what that is.
What? It's from your ancestors.
Yes.
The fainting couch was women would faint and they'd have to have a nice couch to fall onto when they fainted.
Right, yes. The spat of fainting that went on in a bygone era.
That's because the corsets were so tight they couldn't breathe and people fainted all the time.
Yeah,
so,
all right, I'll have to check with my ancestors.
Yes, please do. So I've been shopping around looking for a place to declaw my cat, and it's pretty expensive in the city. Let me just tell you how expensive it is. Average cost to declaw his cat is from anywhere from $100 to $200. Okay.
Dick Cheney will do it for free. Just likes it.
In the city, it's close to $1,000, $987. But before they even quote you on a price, you have to go through this process of being shamed.
Psychological counseling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these liberal vets.
24-hour waiting period.
No, the liberal vets and their moral judgment affect the price, and they shame you so that you choose not to declaw your cat.
How do they shame you?
They talk about that it's a form of mutilation. They talk about similar, if your kids started scratching the carpet, Amy, would you pluck their fingernails off?
Yes.
Because that's what this is. It's illegal.
That's the only way they're going to learn.
No, they say it's illegal in 14 countries, and then they list all the side effects.
Which are the countries? Are those the same countries that stone people who are gay by any chance? Where is it illegal?
Well, Saudi Arabia is one of them, and that's where women can't drive. So
What a country.
I should bring that up to my liberal vets.
Declawing cats is illegal in 14 countries. I want the list.
Okay, I'll bring that up to you later.
Yeah.
But yet 31% of all cat owners in the United States have their cats declawed. Now,
War criminals.
I'm not taking off the front and the back. I just want to take off the front claws because she's scratching at people. She's lunging at them. And I finally told the vet, I said, either I put her down or I tell the kids she went to a farm in Wisconsin or I get her declawed.
What about spayed and neutered like Bob Barker used to say?
No, I've already done that.
Oh, what do those liberal veterinarians have to say about that?
They think that's okay because that's part of their narrative because they don't want the streets to be taken over by cats.
Well, what if your child grows up to procreate one day? Shouldn't you stop that, Mr. Liberal Veterinarian?
So $987 is a quote that I got from several different places, around $1,000 in the city.
Yeah.
So I started, my dad helped me out to find some vets in the suburbs.
You know, it's nice he could take some time off the golf course
Yeah.
to help his daughter with her cat problem.
And I found a vet, $175. That's it. But now I feel like I shouldn't, after reading all these 8 things why you should not declaw your cat, I might not do it. It's the surgery scheduled for Thursday. But I don't know if this is humane or not, or if I'm going to be a bad person. If PETA's going to come knocking at my door. 312-642-5600. Dan, your cat, Angel, Ramspottom, or what was her name? Angel?
What?
What was your cat's name?
First of all, you never talk about my cat. How dare you? My cat's name growing up was Angel.
Okay. Was it a gray-haired tabby, or what'd she look like? Was she a little angel?
Yeah, thank you. We played at the funeral. I sang. It was not a dry eye in the house, as I recall. Or I buried her in a bag in the backyard. I can't remember which.
Was Angel declawed?
Yes, he was.
Oh, wait, you had a male cat named Angel?
Yeah.
Who named it Angel?
The next door neighbors we stole him from.
Hello?
Don on 294.
Hey, guys, Amy, this is a math problem. What's it cost to put the cat down as opposed to what's it cost to get it clawed?
You know what?
Very sensitive, Don. Thank you.
No, it's about $100 to put your cat down. But yet they want to charge you. And the cat isn't even, no offense.
It's free
but
if you do it yourself.
It's not worth $1,000 to declaw a cat. So that's why I contacted Lisa Madigan's office, because there's some price gouging going on here.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me?
You cannot.
Thank you, Speaker
That is
Boehner.
irresponsible. You can't charge $1,000 and then go to the suburbs and have the same thing done for
They have to charge.
$175.
They have to charge the same amount. This is a matter for the Attorney General. I mean, I know she's got nothing else to do except police people who rip labels off their mattresses. But I mean, are you
No,
serious?
this is serious. We're getting ripped
come
off in
on.
the city. And then besides the fact that they make you sound like PETA's going to come and arrest you.
Thanks for the call,
Such a bad
Don.
person.
Lisa Madigan, like Dick Cheney, would probably do the decline for free. Meow. Cross that 5-head in traffic. Mike on the Eisenhower, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, I had both my cats declawed, and they're perfectly happy. They run around, they jump, they do all the cat stuff you expect, and we only paid $160 apiece for them.
Wow. Well, do they?
But is there a certain sadness in their eyes, Mike? when you look at
Not
that?
hardly.
Well, if you read this,
Thanks for the
thanks,
call, Mike.
But if you read this list, I mean, it says that they might start urinating on the carpet because loss of bowels because they'll be so upset
They lose their bowels? What?
they'll have bowel.
That's a real side
Excuse me.
effect.
I have to go home. I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
They'll have bowel movements all over the house because they're so depressed and mad at you.
Yeah.
My
same.
cat might not talk to me again.
I know it's after Angel passed. That happened to me.
What did you do with
Bowel
Angel's?
movements all over the house.
What did you do with Angel when she died?
Shallow grave down by the river. Janice in New Lenox.
Hey, you guys, I listen to you every morning, and I love you to pieces. Amy, I have some information that you might consider as an alternative to declawing your cat.
Okay.
There's a product out called Soft Claws.
What?
It is a vinyl cap that you put on the claws, and it prevents the sharp claws from scratching you or your furniture
So is
or
this
anything else.
This is like nerfing the cat.
Kind of.
It's true. Oh, that's interesting. I wish.
All right, Janice.
Thanks, Janice.
Seriously, my daughter has used them. Something else to bear in mind, having their claws removed causes a lot of pain for many of them when they use the litter box, and therefore causes litter box issues. So keep those in mind.
Thanks for the call, Janice.
And then I'd have to put it down. Well, that just sounds really.
Better have an alibi. Jim in Rockford.
Amy, do
Yes.
not declaw your cat.
Hi.
It's people think it's like taking the fingernails off. It's like taking the first joint of the finger off. And the reason cats are shredding things is they're exercising their upper body, among other things. And if you give them something better to do it with, like good scratching posts.
I have scratching posts everywhere, Jim, and I've tried every product on the market, and I've tried to push her to go outside to scratch the trees and stuff, but she won't even go outside. She just wants to stay inside and rip things apart and scratch my children.
Oh, well, children are okay.
Yeah, that's of course. It's in lieu of a scratching post. Thanks for
Those
the call,
are
Jim.
mobile scratching posts.
Billy on the south side.
Hey, 31% of cats declaw doesn't mean that that's a continuing thing. They actually have stopped doing that in a lot of places, and it's not really hard to trim your cat's nails. But cutting off the knuckle above the fingernail is kind of cruel. And maybe you should just not own the cat.
Oh.
Thanks for the call, Billy. Now I feel bad about getting Angel.
Wow.
We didn't know, Billy. Back in my day, we didn't have that knowledge. I'm sorry, Angel. God bless her.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Diane in Buffalo Grove.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Unfortunately, I only like my regular vet, but the specialty vets and the vet associations are horrible. And the gentleman who just called is correct that if you have to cut off the cat's, claws, you are not really treating that animal fairly. The woman who had boots is a good suggestion.
Okay.
But this is really, again, equivalent to cutting off your knuckles, and that's not what it should be. And the same people, humans, who advocate, cut off, declaw them, also advocate, what do they call it, devocalization for dogs.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
so
It's
cool.
sickening.
Yeah, I had a neighbor who did that. Oh, it was disgusting.
And don't you wonder about the vet who does that? And then the dog hacks and hacks and hacks and coughs and coughs. And again, it's just been commonplace, unfortunately, in America, accepted that, just cut off the claws. And lastly, if you do decide, I didn't hear early on if you were contemplating 2 or 4.
No, just the front paws. But then also, too, people said, just cut her nails. She is so vicious. If I go near her, she attacks me with her claws. So cutting her claws is not an option.
Right. And it's difficult for you. It's difficult for your kids. However, if you want, I would do a little research for you outside of Chicago, because you're not the only family that has this problem. And I think a lot of your friends here in Metro Chicago, we can do a little research.
Okay.
And find out, again, how you can cut them or, cut the claws, or what you'd need to do. Because surgery for that your cat, if you didn't have to, you shouldn't. So if you can postpone it from Thursday, give all of your friends who care about you and your family.
In a drum circle. Yes, thanks for the call, Diane. Appreciate it. And it's interesting, the cat that we got to replace, Angel, was named Knuckles. Dave in Crystal Lake, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, so I've got some parakeets, right? And I'm also having this moral dilemma that I don't know whether to clip the wings or not. They get outside of the cage, they fly around the house. Hard choices. And it's, I don't know. It's just, I'm fighting emotionally. It's like, is it meant to be free? Is it meant to be caged? I don't know.
Is it meant to be dinner?
So it also bites, so I'm also considering the beak. I don't know. What do you think?
Thanks for the call, Dave. Christine in Rogers Park.
Hello. I have a cat that was taken from us for 2 years. We thought he was gone. He turned up in a pound, and he was microchipped in Michigan. So I went to get him 2 years later, and the people who had taken him did declaw him. Since then, he's had problems with his legs. I've been told it affects the tendons sometimes.
Okay.
These are also the same type of people who stole a cat and were happy to put it in a pound when they were done with it. Yeah, but there is a thing, maybe you want to put your cat might work well on a sedative. There's a little gel that you can get at the vet called NutriCal, and you can just put the pill in it, and it might calm her down a little.
Thanks for the call, Christine. And you've got a kind of shopping list, NutriCal, those little Nerf booties for the cats. And that concludes this episode of The View.
Please remember, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Damn it, I hate that Bob Barker.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
All right. Thanks for the advice. I'm going to look into all of those options.
We're going to postpone. You got to postpone.
Cat surgery. It's Thursday.
Now.
Today's Tuesday. I have time. But thank you very much for all your help. Today, cloudy, warmer. Rain and some drizzle throughout the day, and then some thunderstorms this afternoon, a high of 67 degrees. Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm, and then for Thursday, finally we get a break. We're going to have some clouds, but some sunshine by the afternoon, a high near 70 degrees. Any relief on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, finally we can say yes. Amy, on the Tri-State Tollway, all lanes have reopened north of 47th after a major overnight truck wreck. We still have delays, but they are diminishing. It is slow southbound from the Cermak Toll to Ogden. Northbound still very slow from Kedzie up to 31st, nearly a 15-mile backup. But again, it is improving quickly with all lanes now open. However, westbound I-80 is a mess from Larkin Avenue to Shepley Road, where an injury crash blocks the right lane. Eden's 45 minutes either way between Lake Hook and the Junction. Kennedy, an hour and 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, up at an hour and 5 minutes. The Ike, an hour and 13 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, up at an hour 15. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes either way between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. And the Ryan, it's 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Veterans Memorial still very heavy, with folks using that still as an alternate to the Tri-State. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because the lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy, can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
It's true, you can't take it with you, but you can make sure what you don't take with you goes to the ones you love, not the government. And you can preserve a legacy by doing one of the most important things possible for your children and grandchildren. It's critical to realize that if you don't have an estate plan, everything you own, including your house, cars, and investments, could be tied up in courts for a year or more. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, plus double government taxation. Avoid this by learning estate planning essentials. Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays on AM 560, is hosting a free estate planning workshop on Saturday, May 14th in Oak Brook Terrace. Tom's a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Safety, safety, safety. I'm saying it 3 times. Studies show you need to hear something 3 times to remember it. So remember, safety, safety, safety is important to me, me, me. That's why I love Grainger. Grainger has the products to help keep our facilities safe and people safer. Say it with me, kid. Safety, safety, safety from Grainger, Grainger, Grainger. When you think safety, think Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Napa know-how! Some people steer clear of store brands, but Napa conventional motor oil for $2.19 a quart is more than a store brand. It has the Napa logo on it, a logo that represents quality and knowledge, the same logo on the store and that guy's shirt. So pick up Napa conventional motor oil for $2.19 a quart, only available at, you guessed it, Napa. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 5/31/16.
Hey, the weather is getting warmer, and it's a great time to appreciate America's national parks. AM 560 The Answer is giving away copies of National Geographic's Guide to National Parks of the United States, as well as a Kids National Park Guide. One grand prize winner will also receive a National Geographic Parks library, a pair of binoculars, and a $100 gas card. So all you have to do for a chance to win is visit the AM 560 The Answer mobile app now and register. And also, we have a chance to win a National Geographic Expedition family trip to Grand Canyon, Bryce, and Zion National Parks. To enter to win that contest, go to www.nationalparksweeps.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I have struggled with irritable bowel syndrome for 40 years. Really struggled with it. And I want you to know that since I have been taking Balance of Nature, I don't have it anymore. After 40 years, I'm 75 years old, and after 40 years of struggling with this, and, early on taking all kinds of medication and this, that, and the other thing, back in October, I was able to cancel my appointment with the gastroenterologist. Your products have made my life. They have